right. It's 2025 list week. Do we have any Rapcast business we want to take care of before we enter the nerd zone?
Oh, man. I just want to, because this episode is something that we were meant to do a week ago, so it's been now a week of waiting for this. I just want to get it over with and just do it. That being said, welcome to the Rapcast, episode 81. Apologize for the delays. I got the flu and wasn't able to perform to the best of my abilities that this show desperately needs. As everyone knows, I carry the bulk of the weight on the show.
Personally, I probably would have still done it even through sicknesses, but I guess I'm just kind of built different.
Okay, built different for sure.
Nevertheless, we persist in this crazy world of 2025. Halfway through this, honestly, one of the best decades of human existence, the 2020s.
I was thinking, I'm like, do we do... Like, leading up to this, our top 10 albums of the year list, which we're going to get to today, I was thinking, I'm like, do we do some sort of, like, halfway point episode of, like, covering the best records and the best moments and all this, the most important stuff from 2020 to 2025? And then I'm like, you know what? No, that's way too much.
By the time we do all the research, it'll basically be 2030 anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We are the Rapcast. That's Andrew, a.k.a. Buzzkill. My slime since day numero uno.
Fresh off the sickness, you know what it is. Snotty nose, all that.
But yeah,
this
Cokehead Brothers aside,
the good brother to my right here is Alexander, Buddy Alexander.
It's the boy who lived. It's the Adam Sandler with the that's it.
Boy
Some toys to give.
Boy G Biv is in there somewhere as well.
Yeah,
that about sums him up there.
R.I.P. Rob Reiner.
Yes, absolutely. R.I.P. Rob Reiner, absolute legend. Stand By Me, Spinal Tap.
Princess Bride is a big one for me. Prayers
brutal
up for my guy and his wife.
Oh God! And
anyway, moving on to sunnier
film extraordinaire to my left, and also Alex's left. Is going to be Josh, a.k.a. Jay Pacey, a.k.a. PJ Martian. Is this your first full show in a while, I think?
I think so, yes.
This man has been a workhorse for Sheridan College, and I need to see some awards come up and some banners come up in that school for you, for all the work you've been doing.
And our lists these days are going to be for us and not the kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm not tapped in with the new music now.
And we're not talking about the Epstein list, guys. We're talking about the top 10 albums of the year 2025. I always enjoy making these lists, but it is always tough because I'm always feel like I'm trying to find a balance of what I think the actual best records are and which ones are my favorite. I feel like those are two different things in my mind sometimes, and trying to rank them with both of those in mind can be difficult for some records. Certain ones I try to like start out the year and update a kind of a list throughout the whole year. So I kind of have a little bit of a better idea, but there was still like, I think I messaged in the group chat at one point that my 1 and 2 were just, I could not decide between the two.
I'm interested to see what was tearing you apart.
And some of my honorable mentions as well, that I had to cut a lot of records that I thought at one point maybe would have made it in favor of some other ones.
Yeah.
So a lot of great music came out this year. People saying that rap is dead, even though that was kind of something that we talked about briefly on the last episode. I don't think it's dead at all. I just think you have to kind of go looking for it a little bit more, not on the charts, and kind of do your own research and stuff about that. So a lot of great stuff that I'm excited to talk about today.
Yeah, we've been doing these lists for the last couple of years.
It'll be our 5th year, right? Because it was our 5-year anniversary.
I think I'm getting better at just being honest about which were my favorites, not so much worrying about which ones are getting all the critical acclaim, and a bit of that goes into my considerations.
Yeah,
something that might spur me to listen to something that I might not have otherwise heard,
and it can make me respect a record maybe a little bit more. It's performed really well, which obviously isn't everything, but it's something to consider at least a little bit, I think.
But yeah, just as a disclaimer off the bat, my listening habits this year, I didn't listen to as many new albums. Probably only 25 to 30, if I'm being honest. I was listening to a lot of older stuff. I kind of got into some punk bands from the 90s.
You're on a Rancid kick there for a sec.
Yeah, I learned some more about stuff from the 70s and 80s and other eras.
That's good. Yeah, that's great that you were able to do that, because I feel like because of this show, like I'm always trying to just keep up and keep my head above water in terms of the new releases, especially over the summer when we got that big, like every week there was a big standout record that dropped. That I feel like I am not able to go back as much and listen to some classics that I need to listen to, frankly.
Yeah, I have a long list of should listen tos from this year that I will get around to. They're all compiled up in this massive playlist that I can always go back to, and I'm always going to miss out on a lot of things.
For sure. Yeah,
I looked
we're not gonna get everything.
I looked at the R&B category in the Grammys and was like, damn, there was a bunch of stuff that I probably should have been tapped into.
Yeah, not a lot of R&B on my list, really.
Me neither. But I did listen to a good amount of the genre. Just only a few of them really stuck with me.
Right.
But yeah, my list is mostly rap, and this is a Rapcast. So you have any other further thoughts, or you want to just get into it?
Let's get right into it.
Like and subscribe, Rapcast.
All that stuff. If you're listening, know you can watch us in the link in the description. If you're watching, know you can listen as well. The music you just heard at the intro was Rad Lusso, I presume. Dropped a new EP, friend of the show. We'll get him on at some point. Really good stuff there. It was
crushing shit.
Yeah.
Tap in with Rad Lusso. We should do a whole another list of people we know that put out music.
I was doing my best of songs list earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, like maybe I should include some friend of the show guys in here. Rick Indigo dropped some great stuff. Dukai, who we recently had on the show, had some good singles this year. Joe Jass, of course, dropped an album earlier in the year.
Maybe we can work out a segment in the next episode to shout out some
Sure,
people.
Yeah, let's do it.
Among people we know, or at least friends of the show, kind of shout outs.
Yeah,
but,
let's absolutely do that. But
anyway,
let's talk about people that are bigger and better
people
than
we'll
our
never know.
Friends. Yeah.
Like Pharrell Williams. Dun dun dun.
Who wants to start? Do you want to start, or should I?
You can start.
We both have 3 honorable mentions. That's right. Okay. I'm gonna start with one that is a little bit lesser known, which is McKinley Dixon, Magic Alive. This one just cracked my list over some other records, but it's one that I didn't find myself listening to all that much throughout the year. But whenever I did go back to it and listen to it front to back, it really is just an impressive record. I still feel like production does carry a lot of that aspect for me. Just the multi-instrumentation of it, the jazziness of it, it really just keeps it really interesting. His rapping, of course, is also very good. There's low-key some good features on there as well from some guys that I've never really heard of before. Teller Banks had some really great stuff on there. Blue, who I'm privy to as well, had a great verse. Ice Cold Bishop dropped a great verse on there as well. A record that I've kind of had to sit with a little bit, and it started clicking with me the more and more I listened to it. I was listening to it, I'm like, there's definitely some sort of like structure or story here that I'm too stupid to get in these first few listens, that after further research, I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of loosely about this summer with his friends as kids, and like one of their friends dies and they're trying to resurrect him through using magic. It's kind of a loose theme. It's not like that integral it's not that integral to the album overall. You can listen to it and then enjoy it without knowing that, but with knowing that, it kind of elevates it to an extent a little bit in terms of the writing, because it is a very like nostalgic kind of record, writing wise, for sure. It's not always, like I said, talking about that kind of stuff. Some tracks are just classic kind of hip-hop songs, but yeah, I was really impressed with his record this year. He dropped Beloved Paradise Jazz a few years ago, which I liked, but I never really listened to it all that much. So I wanted to give him the time of day this year and kind of really give him a proper shot, and he ended up just cracking my list here.
I also listened to that McKinley Dixon, and it was, you put it on and it's quite an experience. Like,
it's almost too much sometimes.
Blown out by...
Yeah, it's a lot happening.
And it takes jazz rap to new heights that I've never really seen before, in terms of like, it's not just a guy rapping over some fucking saxophones or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like he's moving in league with the musicians, like in a dynamic kind of way, you know?
Yeah, you could tell he's really involved with the whole process, and it's just super impressive for like I remember I wrote down at one point, like, it's super impressive kind of for a younger guy earlier in his career to do something like this, but then I found out that this guy's 30 years old. and he's dropped 5. This is his 5th record, so he's been around for a while. I just have not been put on until a few years ago with his last record, and then this year more so for sure.
Well, there's so much great stuff out there that
we're not
surface,
gonna get everything. I did notice that, like, going back to it and listening to it front to back is the proper way to listen to the record. Whereas if some certain songs come in on shuffle on my playlist and it doesn't hit quite the same for whatever reason, it kind of warrants. I haven't quite pinpointed why yet, but it warrants just the full listening experience, which I appreciate for sure. But I do have to factor that into the ranking of it as well. If it doesn't work in all scenarios, then I maybe take that as a bit of a loss of a point to an extent. Not a huge deal, but something that I think about for sure.
There's definitely a space for that where you listen to an album and it's like, this is great, but it's just so different that this won't play with my other friends.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just not always. Sometimes I want to listen to something that's a little bit easier to wrap my head around and a little bit more basic. Like, I don't always want to be kind of thrown through a loop and just musically and taken on a ride necessarily. Sometimes I want to just sit and chill with the music that I'm listening to. So it doesn't necessarily maybe work in every situation, but overall,
Any standout tracks you want to mention?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say Sugar Water is a big one. Run 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 Part 2. All the Loved Ones, Listen Gentle. The outro track Could Have Been Different is awesome. But that's my honorable mention number 3.
Great. Okay, so my third honorable mention, Knowledge the Pirate and Rock Marciano, The Round Table. When I first saw it, I thought this was a Rock Marciano album, but it's really Knowledge the Pirate rapping, but it's all produced by Rock.
Okay.
But with one feature from Rock Marciano. They do have quite similar rap voices and styles. I was going to say,
because I listened to this album and I'm like, are there 2 people rapping at some point? Like, I couldn't quite tell, and I'm not as much of a Rock Marciano guy to really distinguish his voice from other people's. I really like the Elephant Man's Bones record that you put me onto a few years ago. That was great, but further than that, I couldn't really tell who was rapping. In my mind, I thought Knowledge of the Pirate was the producer, just because I never really heard of him, and then Rock Marciano was the rapper on here. But that's
honestly,
good to know.
If it wasn't like written in that way, I might not have really discovered it. But just because I already fuck with Marciano, I gave it a shot. And this guy, Knowledge the Pirate, he's very much a student of the game in Rock Marciano's mold. Beat wise, it's a lot of these, drumless sample loops that he kind of innovated, but it's got this, dark and kind of spooky vibe to a lot of it. The opening track has this disembodied voice to create the beat. It's very like grimy New York City style, but it's accessible. Like it's not like one of these rappers who's speaking in cryptic poetry where you don't quite get it. Like, this guy is quite straight to the point,
for sure,
but he still seems pretty seasoned. Like, I looked it up though, but he's only been in the game since 2018. He does not have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, because remember I tried to look up to figure out if this guy's the rapper or the producer, and I couldn't. Google it. I didn't give me an answer. I didn't see a Wikipedia, so I kind of just left it. But
but the two make an excellent producer and rapper pair. And just kind of I enjoyed it off of first listen. I took a couple tracks out, added them to the playlist, then they started to come up a bit more, gave it another. Every time I was entertained by it, but like in this underground style of rap, sometimes it can just be boring or just doesn't connect with you for whatever reason. This style of music production is not the most like poppy, I guess, and it's
of course, but
kind of like, I was thinking the other day about like how the production style kind of, it filters out the casual fans, like, and it's a little bit more for the heads, the rap heads. Looking at some songs here, there's a song called Takes a 10 that had that really gritty New York 70s vibe to it.
I like that one. Yeah,
song Magic and Kareem has a Ronald Reagan audio clip at the beginning about the crack era.
Yeah, that's right.
Just goes, it's disheartening in such a hard way, like
looking back at that.
There's some good storytelling on the tracks. Food for Thought, Gut Feeling, story kind of about like the good girl gone bad motif, and a lot of the times like the vocal sample that is used over and over in the beat kind of complements the meaning of the song or the story that he's telling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like in terms of the producer and rapper being in an alignment on what they want to do.
Right.
It worked for me. And Receipts was one of the best tracks off of it. That was the outro. It was one of the first ones I got into.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just thoroughly enjoyable. A little grimy, a little rough around the edges, but accessible enough that you can get into it.
For sure. Yeah, I thought it was solid. I think I kind of lean more so towards, just off of first listen, like it not really clicking with me so far. I think maybe because half the time I was trying to figure out, like, wait, is this Rock Marciano actually rapping? But like just taking it for just purely music wise, it's very solid. I will say I was listening to this and I was like, am I getting a bit fatigued with this drumless underground slums, for lack of a better term, kind of sound? Because we've got a lot of records this year from, Earl Sweatshirt, Mike, Alchemist dropped a lot. And the ones that like stood out for me most were the ones that were trying kind of different things, or like the 2 Chainz and Larry June one was great because they had great chemistry and kind of different styles and stuff. The Hit Boy and Alchemist one was great because they kind of stuck to some themes as well that were interesting, and it kind of kept my attention a little bit more. The Mike album was good as well, but it didn't quite. I think it's just a bit too long, and it was tough for me to fully grasp a lot of the time.
I think there's a lot of different production styles that you're rolling into here, though. Because
yes, no, you're right for sure.
Marciano is a lot different from Alchemist in that, like, on the Alchemist and Larry June's 2 Chainz project,
there's a lot of varied production in that one as well.
And
yeah, for sure.
Sinewy kind of tracks, where this is like much more dark and hypnotic and kind of just like it draws you into this like dimly lit kind of New York City landscape that the guy raps about, and that's what I like about it.
If I were to compare it to anything, then I feel like the Arm & Hammer
Run it back.
The Arm & Hammer record from this year and the Billy Woods record kind of fall more in line with this kind of stuff. And for those records to fully keep my attention, like, things need to be just a little bit, just something has to just stand out a little bit more to me, rather than just like just rapping for the sake of rapping, or rapping really well even over kind of smooth drumless beats doesn't necessarily do it for me anymore. Just because I feel like I've heard a lot of it, and it's kind of, so I've personally oversaturated it myself just in my life. That it kind of needs to stick out. Something needs to stick out to me.
So you didn't end up liking the Armand Hammer one much?
I liked it as well, but I
haven't heard it yet.
I listened to it once, and I haven't felt that compelled to go back to it. But I enjoyed it. Like, it's not a bad record. None of these records that I mentioned are bad, by the way. It's just that there's a lot of them that come out this year, and by the time the end of the year comes, listening to a record like this, I'm just like, there's been other records this year that have done this in a maybe more interesting way, at least to me personally. But still solid. Like, it's not. I'm still a fan of the sound.
I think I wanted to mention it because it's also like a new rapper that kind of came out of nowhere. And I like that feeling of when you discover something randomly, kind of, and you're like, yep,
clicking with you.
Add it to the pantheon of rappers.
That's always fun.
So anyway, what's your next honorable?
My next is the first of a few Chicago natives I have on my list here. Curious if it's made yours. Is Mick Jenkins' A Murder of Crows?
It was in consideration, but I just didn't listen to the whole thing as...
It was tough because it dropped later on in the year, but it is a digestible listen. I think it's only like a 30, 40-minute record, and there's not much to say. We talked a little bit about it, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, but it's just overall another tight, solid body of work from Mick. I feel like he is has one of the best flows and deliveries in the game right now. Really deserves a lot more recognition than he gets. Didn't have many features on here, really just kind of did it himself. I feel like him and the producer Amine worked really well together. I think, like, sonically it matched the topics he was touching on, and just, again, his delivery and his voice. A lot of talk about naysayers and kind of coming at online rhetoric and critics and things like that, and him comparing himself to others and saying, I'm better than you and this is why, which I appreciate. Doesn't always make for the kind of deepest or raw kind of studies within the album, but it's still always great to hear, and it's good to hear him with that level of confidence as well.
I like how he had a couple different styles on that album.
Yeah,
too.
he tried a few different things as well, and I think they're few and far between, but there's some sung moments on here of his that were impressive as well. That kind of caught me off guard, which was interesting. I also really like that song, Words I Should Have Said, the one with Any, which they're kind of going back and forth, the relationship track. I feel like was an interesting. I think the album needed something like that to kind of just spice things up a little bit.
Yeah,
and change it up a little.
Because I don't know that like you get so many details about his personal life.
Yeah,
like, you get his opinions and his overall like disposition.
Right.
But it's interesting to get to know that other side.
It's definitely not as strong as The Patience from a few years ago. It doesn't have as many standout highlight wow moments, but still just overall really respectable, really solid body of work from Mick. Gotta give him his flowers, because he deserves it for sure. And just bars on bars on bars, like he's spitting the whole time.
There's a song called Deadstock that I really liked on that one. I can't remember.
Deadstock is great. Workers' Comp was another highlight for me. Kind of has a nice bounce to it. Kind of nice, kind of grimy. We got more work to do. We got more work. A little bit more of a kind of energy track. Pundits in brackets Yappers is one where he's kind of really dropping gems and talking about the game, never played the game type shit. Move is a smooth one. Shining is kind of on like an Alchemist, spacey kind of beat, laid back one. That one's good. Crazy bars on Coco Gauff. A lot of great stuff. Nothing wrong to say about it other than maybe it's not as captivating as some of his previous stuff, but nothing wrong with that. Still just great to hear him just bar out and spaz out for 40 minutes.
Yeah, every time I came back to this one, I was like, this is a very solid body of work. I just couldn't honestly say that I got so into it to have it on my list. But.
Yeah, I kind of when I was going through my list, I kind of like, when I re-listened to it and it kind of was shuffling it a bunch and stuff like that, and just like, oh yeah, this does really leave an impact on me. But you're right, like I feel like it might have had a chance to get higher on my list if it didn't come out later in the year, if I listened to it a little bit more.
Right.
So that's something to consider as well. But
rappers, drop your stuff in January and February
and March if you want to be on these lists, guys. Come on. We're gonna have a good start to next year, though. A$AP Rocky seems to actually be dropping an album for once.
I'm looking forward to that.
And then my lo-fi goat Joji is also dropping, I think, in February or something. So there'll be stuff to talk about for sure. And Alex, you talk about stuff now for a little bit.
Okay, my second honorable mention. This might be a little bit controversial for the rap heads out there. JID, God Does Like Ugly.
Okay,
did this end up on your list?
I predicted this. It's number 5 for me. Let's see, we're cracking my top 5 right now. I predicted this. I kept thinking back to the moment. I think it was 2 episodes ago or 1 episode ago. We were talking about the Grammys, and I was going through some of them, and you were like, I don't know if JID needs to be up there, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we also saw him live as well this year.
I do hope he wins that Grammy though.
I don't think he should, actually. I think Clipse got it. I think Clipse got it for sure.
If Clipse doesn't.
If Clipse,
you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I don't want it to go to like some idiot.
No,
like,
for sure.
I would JID to get some recognition.
Yes, for sure.
He's a great rapper, one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
I guess just to explain why it's a bit lower on my list is that the first half of the album just didn't grab me much other than the track Community. I didn't really feel the single work, the song with Don Toliver on there.
That was a weak point for sure.
There was just a couple of moments early on where I was like, I'm feeling a bit disappointed by this.
Right.
But upon repeated listens, I was like, the overall presentation, his lyricism, and some of the R&B moments on the other half that really kind of redeem it.
Right.
It is definitely worthy of mention, but I just couldn't say that honestly I felt it that much.
Interesting, because I remember you saying that You Ugly was one of your favorite tracks, and that's the first track on the album as well, with West Side Gun.
I mean,
it's
the
a
West
bit
Side
all
Gun
over
part
the place.
is just too much. It's just I don't know.
For you to say that is crazy, because you're a way bigger West Side Gun fan than me, and I love his part on
West
that.
Side Gun I like, but it's like I tune into the West Side Gun channel to see West Side Gun.
see
I don't need
saying.
him to
Okay.
show up
Yeah,
on JID's album.
Got you. Okay. It's fair. It's respectable. It's definitely not as good as the Forever Story. But I can't, in good conscience, say that it's a step back though. I don't know if it's a step forward necessarily. I think it's just kind of just a reaffirmation of how good he actually is. I think to me it's number 5 because it's one of the best just straight rapping performances of the year. And I definitely have bias in terms of fast rap when it's done with a purpose. When it's not just for the sake of fast rapping like Eminem or Logic or some of these guys. Sometimes he is doing that here and there, like on certain tracks. Like I think on McAfee, that one's kind of just to bar out banger. He has some stuff to say on there for sure, but my favorite JID tracks are the ones where he's actually talking about something and he has substance to what he's saying. And when you can match that with the level of rapping that he's capable of, it blows my mind. It's just what I love about hip hop. Truly. I'm not always in the mood for it necessarily.
It is a mind-blowing album, that's for sure. Like his level of skill, and I've been seeing the clips going around him on the Dissect show, and they're kind of you can take any random sample of a lyric that might just sound like nothing because he's saying it so fast, but you actually break down the meaning and there's so much more to discover.
Exactly. It warrants repeated listens and it rewards you for such as well.
But like that, for example, that track K-Word, Karma, like I thought that one was more better on paper, or like for the lyrical accomplishment that he made doing that track was great, but like the song itself
didn't.
Yeah,
no, I can see that for sure. I think I think you're right when it comes to that as well. I think Glory honestly falls into the same pile as that one to me, where it's like it's really
that one
solid, but
it just kind of bores me.
I think that the beat is the main point on that one, but I don't know. I feel like he was trying a lot of different things on this record sound wise. He was like, even the one with Don Toliver that neither of us are really that big of a fan of, he doesn't always necessarily nail it, but I feel like for the most part he does. I really like the Skate song with Earth Gang and him. I think it's a great party energy tune. It doesn't have that much meaning to it, but it is very Atlanta, which I respect as well. This whole record is very Atlanta.
References just being lost on me, and
for sure,
it just not being for me, and I can accept that, but I can't put it so high on my list. Then that's
I mean, I can say the same thing about Clipse and their all the extravagant luxury bars that they rap about, and it getting lost on me, but still thinking it's a fantastic record. I feel like I could still do a little bit of both.
But in terms of like really impressive and positive parts, I mean, obviously Community was a special moment. One of his best performances in terms of just the passion.
Absolutely, when we heard that live, that was a moment for sure.
And I would also mention the VCR with Vince Staples.
Fantastic.
But I think that those two songs together kind of show him signaling towards his core fans that I haven't gone TikTok or whatever just because I had one song that went viral off of TikTok. Like, I'm not compromising my artistic integrity whatsoever.
Yeah.
That plus, the For Keeps song at the end as kind of a thank you to the fans. Like, he's definitely saying, like, I got you. If you're a core fan, I got you. I'm not going Hollywood on you. Like, I'm sticking to the message and doing exactly what I want, and I respect him for that, for sure.
For sure.
But if you want to get some more positive reviews off, go
I would say I did like the kind of R&B bag he was getting in on this record that you were saying. I feel like the one with Ty Dolla $ign and Black is a great record. I like the one with Jesse Reyes as well. That one's kind of a polarizing one, I feel like, online, but I like their back and forth. I think they have good chemistry. I like the production. And I feel like if this album is lacking anything, it's that there's not as many great sung moments on here versus the Forever Story or even the few records before that as well. Like, he's only getting better as a singer, I feel, but he's just not utilizing it that much on this record. I feel like the next step for JID maybe is to go in that kind of Cody Blue direction, maybe. Would be maybe not what his core audience, like we were just saying, maybe wants, but I feel like maybe even just an EP of kind of just some sung tunes from JID I would appreciate it at least. But
the song with Mariba was good too.
Yeah, her part was fantastic, and the whole song was great. Yes, talking a lot about, in terms of the messaging that we were saying that he's mixing with his fast raps, a lot of talk about his growth in the industry and personally, a lot about racism and race relations, religion and faith as well, of course. It's called God Does Like Ugly. Going into his youth, his self-worth, his success up to this point. I think the features are generally very good and make a lot of sense. I love always how he's putting on Spillage Village on pretty much all of his records and giving them a chance to shine. I'd say maybe the sequencing could have been a little bit stronger as well. In terms of some of the placements, I would have buried that Don Toliver song later on, I think.
Or just not put it on the album.
Or put it on the Prelux. Like he had the whole
true.
the opposite of the Deluxe, the Prelux, and there was that song with Lil Yachty that I really liked on there. There's the one with Eminem that I really also liked, which is like, I feel like we got one of the best Eminem performances we've gotten in years on that track. And GID is going toe for toe. And I mean, it's not saying much, to be fair. I will say as well, I acknowledge that, and this is going to play into a few other records I have on my list, that seeing a artist live and seeing some of these songs performed live, it does affect my ranking a little bit. It does, just because it just creates core memories with these songs that I think back on fondly, which elevates the listening experience for me. That's just a fact in my mind.
Totally fair.
That I definitely want to acknowledge off the bat before we get into some of these other artists that I've seen live this year.
That is definitely affects my list too of like albums.
Yeah,
that I enjoy.
I don't see how it couldn't really. Like,
yeah. What you said though is absolutely correct. You have a visual to match the sound of.
Yeah, and because you listen to it again, you're like, that moment. Even if the On McAfee song isn't my favorite on the record, I look back on the live show and I'm like, everyone went crazy for that song. That was a huge moment in the show.
Just rips live. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously I'm not going to see that song live every time I listen to it, but it's definitely it creates those memories that are important to me for sure.
All right.
And I think I'm generally just a bigger JID fan than you. Sorry. I'm going to say that.
That's totally fair.
Even though we both had Forever Story pretty high on our list, I think, the year it came out. Or at least it made your top 10, I think. But I'm not mad at the take. I think it's fair. It's definitely not the step forward that maybe we wanted to see from JID, but I think just doing a record that's as good, or it has songs on there that are as good as some of his other ones is good enough for me.
I'm totally happy with like him making his own artistic choices and keeping his freedom and how he wants to present it at all. It just didn't
land for you.
Land for me as well.
I mean, it's made your list, so it's has, obviously you'll like the record. Like,
but let's coming back to it. You got to admit, and I like the whole artistic, the whole presentation of it all. I love the cover.
Cover's fantastic.
One of the best covers. And even the shirt that I bought.
Great shirt. That's probably one of the best pieces of merch I've ever got, just in terms of quality. Like I don't know what it's made out of, like silk or some shit. I don't know what it is.
God's hands.
Yeah, exactly. It's something.
Okay, so we got one of your bigger ones out of the way.
I just want to shout out a few more songs quickly while we're here, because it is my top 5. G's also is, to me, fantastic. Just such a grimy banger, but also the song that could have maybe been on a Forever Story or the Never Story, even his debut record. I feel like that's a quintessential just GID sound to that record.
Nice.
Wholeheartedly, I mentioned Nobu. Yeah, Of Blue is fantastic. Almost wish the first part with Mariba was like the whole song. Like I wish that they kind of stayed in that pocket a little bit more. And For Keeps, being a great closer as well. Yeah, we pretty much covered all of them that I wanted to talk about. But shout out JID. My last honorable mention, my second of 3 Chicago guys on my top 10 list. It's going to be Saba and No ID with the private collection of Saba No ID. It's a record that dropped at the beginning of the year, so I had a lot of time to sit with it. Saba's probably one of my new favorite artists that I've got into in the past maybe 5 or 6 years. Kind of just is now a mainstay in my daily listening. I will say this record is not maybe as quintessential as a few of his last records. Care for Me, for sure. And A Few Good Things is also one of my favorite records of this decade so far.
You've been a Saba fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Saba guy. But yeah, it only didn't make my top 10 because it's just doesn't have as much substance and stuff to kind of dig your teeth into than his previous records. That being said, I feel like Saba and No ID have great chemistry. I mean, you can't afford to fuck up a whole album produced by No ID, and I have yet to see it happen.
He's a legend.
Logic's best records are with No ID as well. I think
there would be
that's
no
not a
Kanye without No ID.
Absolutely. But I feel like they both do their job in carrying on this record. Sometimes the beat carries a little bit more. Sometimes Saba and his flows carry a little bit more. He's going into a few different sounds as well on here a little bit. Like the song "Crash" is almost like a smooth R&B kind of track. And then he's getting into what's that one? I think it's Westbound. West Side Bound is just hard as fuck. That one's great to hear. Him just murdering a song like that.
Let me just play it for a sec.
Yeah. Those horns, man.
See, that's one of the ones I threw on the playlist.
Ugh.
I
Yeah.
only listened to this like once,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a couple ones I was immediately like, gotta throw that one on the playlist. Gotta throw that.
Overall, there are some, I think, all-time Saba songs on here.
Every Painting Has a Price featuring BJ the Chicago Kid.
Really good intro. Kind of a reintroduction to Saba, if you didn't really know him before. Crash, like I mentioned. Head Wrap is a really kind of beautiful song about hair in the black community and the meaning behind it. I feel like Kill You by Tyler wishes it could be this song. Like that was that was the Chromacopia version, but this one just completely blows it out of the water to me, because it really just gets into it, and the features as well play a part
to
in
the
it.
roots of it.
There we go. We're starting with the dad jokes here. I will say as well, She Called It is really great to me. How to Impress God, the kind of conversational track with God, is an interesting one as well. And a few songs.
Wait, he got God for it?
He got God. That's why. Come on, man. You can't deny it. Saba, No ID, and God, bro. And the last song, a few songs with Smino, is fantastic as well. Just really no notes, really good stuff. I always love
can
Smino
show up on
and
any album.
He'll just as far as I'm concerned, he's welcome anytime he wants to pop up on the music.
He's like Kramer, the way he was just
he is kind of
he
kind of has Kramer energy sometimes too.
He was on Chance the Rapper's album.
Yes, he was. Another Chicago guy. The stuff that he is kind of getting into with a little bit more kind of substance on this record will be his career for sure, where he is now versus where he was. All the work that he's put in, always puts on Pivot Gang and talks about them and their journey as well, his kind of crew that he has amassed over the years. Chicago is also always a huge influence on his music, as well as his family as well. He's always talking about his family and how much they mean to him, which is always nice to hear. But yeah, just super, super solid, well-rounded record from Saba. Had to shout him out. Not quite enough to make my top 10, but wanted to give him props for sure.
Kind of feels like a rapper out of a different era that's still around. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like, he's like the conscious kind of rapper, like positive vibes.
Yeah. Saba's a tough cookie to crack because he is, which I don't even know if it's a term. I think I'm making that up.
Cookie to crack.
Cookie to crack. We're cracking cookies. It's Christmas. Because I don't think he's like the best at anything really, but he's just so good. He's so
well-rounded.
He does everything else right. He does it all right. That it creates just such a great experience every time listening to his stuff. So shout out Saba, shout out Chicago.
He's building up a pretty good discography.
He is. He really is. That's 3 really solid records in a row from him. I have to go back and listen to his first 2, I think.
Right.
But shout out Saba, man. Keep looking out for Saba. Can't go wrong.
Okay, so my last honorable mention, Amine, 13 Months of Sunshine.
Wow, I'm surprised this made your list. I was toying with this one. Didn't quite. It was close, very close. Didn't quite crack it.
Here's the thing. It's got a great intro. It's got a great outro.
That's important. That is low key important.
It's fun. We get some tidbits about his life and who he is. Like it's poppy in terms of like some of the songs are just I want to go on vacay.
Yeah,
I want to go on vacay.
Which is great though. That's one of my favorite tracks on here. because you need some shit like that.
But you also need a couple of details. I like how on the intro track New Flower, like he's talking about he used to work at Complex and he got a sandwich for Big Sean once and
he tipped him or whatever. Yeah, that kind of stuff is really endearing to me and always good to hear.
So
from
like
rappers.
he's a down to earth guy. He's a very solid rapper. I like how this album, it's a party album, it's a summer album, but then there's so kind of quiet and low-key songs like Doing the Best That I Can.
Yeah, it's really a great balance between the two sounds.
And he's kind of talking about his family, his dad, like there's these sound bites of his conversation with his dad throughout the album. There's a couple of rough moments, less refined parts.
Yeah.
I didn't like so much. I Think It's You, History.
I like both of those ones.
Even Feels So Good wasn't that crazy.
I wouldn't have put that one as a second track. I would maybe put Vacay up there because Vacay is kind of lower down. And I don't know why Arc de Triomphe is a second to last song on here. That's a great song. That should be higher up as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
you don't want to front load it at the same time.
Yeah, it's you can save that for near the end too to make sure people are still paying attention.
Yeah, sure.
The 13 Months song I thought was one of the more impressive ones because
that one was one of the ones that didn't click with me really, but
I thought it was a catchy chorus. There's like a beat switch.
I like the beat switch.
He shows his skill as a rapper. The only thing like making this an honorable mention is that like with all the things being how they are, he's still admittedly a B tier rapper. You know what I mean? Like he's not quite. Right. There's nothing that really like connects me so much to this guy. Right. But I just been listening to his stuff and I always have a good time with it. And I think this album did everything it set out to do.
Yeah.
In terms of mixing the pop, the rap, his other influences. Maybe it wasn't Brat Summer or anything, but like it was. I had a good time.
It was Brat Summer for the B tier rappers. If you were with your logic there. Because this isn't like his breakthrough record. You're not going to listen to this album and be an instant fan necessarily if you're not already. Because it doesn't. Yeah, you're right. His rapping ability is shown on here and there, but it's not really the main point. Which going into a rap record is not always the best thing to come out of it. Thinking, like, there's this guy, not being blown away by much of his rapping.
Sometimes it's more about the presentation.
Exactly, it's more about the vibes and the energy. And the energy, there's a lot of energy in here. Even the songs that are lower energy, I still feel that low energy, and that in itself is energy to me.
Wow.
I'm really surprised this made your list because I don't think you were that hot on it when we first talked about it. I remember you liking it, but.
It's one of those things I had to admit how many times I was coming back to it.
I listened to it a lot this year, in the summer especially.
If I got all these vibes out of it, like how can I sit here and hate it on my rap podcast where I'm a serious music reviewer?
Yeah.
Like, no, I gotta just admit when something is fire and
it's a really good time, good record. Very close to making my list. I listened to it again. I did notes and everything. But I then deleted the notes because I'm like, this isn't going to make Alex's list. There's no point in me keeping these notes. And here we are. But I think he did a good job summing it up pretty much.
A couple other tracks like Raspberry Kisses, that one grew on me.
Very summary.
Cool About It. That one actually grew on me more than like at first I didn't even like it too much. But
me neither. The beat's crazy. I love the production on it.
The feature like helps give it a real catchy chorus and. I think it's not super deep or anything, but if you're looking for a good time,
no, just throw it on, man. Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so our honorables
stuff.
are out of the way.
Okay.
Exactly 1 hour in.
Oh fuck me. Let's go. I mean,
one
of them was
like 20 minutes at the beginning.
That's true, and one of them was my top 5, so we had to give that one a little bit more time. Okay, let's just swing it along
up the
then.
Sleeves.
This is another one that I think is going to lead to some interesting discussion just based on the vibe I got from Alex in the group text when we were talking about this briefly. My number 10 is Dijon Baby. Here we go. I can tell already this is going to be. Let me go first, okay? Let me go, and then you can ruin it for me after.
That was silence.
I do really dig the sound that he's curated overall. I will then immediately say I do prefer his record from 2019, I want to say. I only really recently discovered that record earlier in the year, and then it just so happens that he came back after 5 or so years with a new record. And it's a really interesting record. It's really hard to kind of put him in a box genre-wise. It definitely has flavors of R&B, but also kind of just like indie pop and almost some neo soul hints here and there. But it's really, you can argue it is, and maybe I'm getting ahead of Alex's argument here. You can argue that it's maybe a bit sloppy or scattered or thrown together, but to me that is completely intentional, which that does make a difference to me. Not every moment hits. This one was a real grower for me. I listened to it for the first time. I'm like, this is really unique. I don't know if I like it. And then the more and more I kind of just surrendered myself to the record, I'm like, yeah, no, this is really impressive. I think vocally his range is actually very good as well. He doesn't always show it. Sometimes he's maybe straining a little bit, but it's still, to me, very impressive.
I got the same vibe from that injury reserve record from By the Time I Get to Phoenix a couple years ago, where it's like, this is so unique. I've never heard anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is for me. But then why do I keep thinking about it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Why do I want to listen to it again?
Exactly. And another thing with this Dijon guy is that if he wanted to, he could make some of the catchiest pop tunes that we have heard. He was all over the Justin Bieber albums, which you can argue is kind of a more refined version of this kind of sound he's dealing with. But I really like the experimentation with it. Not every moment works for me. There are some that still haven't quite grabbed onto. But for the most part, this record does work for me more than it doesn't. Thematically, the album is driven by the birth of his child, new family, love in general. Those are kind of the main things. Songwriting maybe could be a bit more refined, but I think it's his second record. I'll give him the pass. I will say it's my number 10. It's not always music that I want to listen to. I'm not always in the mood for it. But listening to it front to back, whenever it does come on the shuffle, I'm it is growing on me, and I gotta give it
much like a baby.
Props. Exactly, it's a baby, man. And if you're gonna hate on a baby right now, I'm curious to see how it's gonna turn out for you, pal. But yeah,
bah, humbug.
Not Christmas, because it's gonna be post Christmas for sure.
Yeah, Dijon gets a lump of coal from me. No, I listened to this and I really tried to get it, but I think I was partly tainted by the fact that I was seeing so much buzz from all the cool kids of music reviewing and all the, you have to listen to this eclectic thing that you can't put your, geese, no, that's the old thing. You're already too old for that.
Yeah.
Dijon, this is the new, no, but I mean, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but I just listened to this, and his vocal style and the music production style is just not my thing, and I have to just be gracious and be humble, and just say, trying to say some positive things. I did like the outro, kind of love or whatever.
Yeah,
because like I got the concept of it. Like,
that one's a simpler too. Like and some of my favorite songs on here. Yamaha Automatic Rewind.
I like that one too, kind of. Yamaha.
Yeah, those ones are the ones that really stuck out to me because those ones I could wrap my head around a little bit easier, and they still have moments of experimentation and kind of weird little patches where I'm like, okay, that's an interesting choice there. But those were the most digestible, and those ones stuck out to me and have clicked with me right away. But it's really the other songs that didn't click with me right away, and then I learned to really just appreciate them and enjoy them. And that is kind of what elevated this record to me, was that I really didn't know where to place it at first, and now it's one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah.
So I gotta respect it for that.
It bugged me the first time I listened to it. I had to come back and listen to it like 2 or 3 more times to try to get and try to even pin down what it is that I don't like about this. But I think it's just the noisy kind of production. And it's like he's straining his voice so much where it's like. I don't know, every song sounds like it was recorded from inside a fucking gigantic laundry machine or whatever.
Recorded in a laundry machine is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, it's got that weird...
It's like he's recording it in venue that he's performing it at.
Yeah.
That's a very
I get why people like it though.
Yeah, that's all I really ask for at the end of the day. But also, I don't think this album would have made it close to my top 10 if I didn't already kind of get myself used to his sound by listening to his record Absolutely starting from earlier in the year, and I kind of got used to that sound, and now it was just perfect timing that this record came out when it did, when I was already kind of in the throes of listening to his stuff.
To be honest,
it's a tough first listen.
His voice did kind of remind me of like Prince in a way, like that kind of very expressive kind of shit. But in the modern age with this kind of glitchy, and the songs are like they're starting and they're stopping, and then it's all going quiet for a second, and then it's a wall of sound again, and it's just it's too disorienting for an old fogey like me.
That's a good. Can we say fogey? I feel like that's not available to us to say.
I think I am going to go ahead.
I don't know what it means, so I'm just going to say that I can say it because it sounds fun.
But at the end of the day, I'm a cornball, and I'm not up on all the most progressive and experimental
I wouldn't say
new
it's
types
that.
of music.
It's not the easiest record to get into. I don't think you're wrong in that. It did take me quite a long time.
That being said, I did like Swag.
Well, that's like the Babies RS version of this shit. That's like the most approachable, walk-intoable version of what we're hearing.
Yeah, that's the store brand Dijon.
Which there's something to be said because you could say Justin Bieber's vocals are a lot easier to listen to, and it's a lot more refined, and it's a lot more poppy and just more accessible. There are some good tunes on the record for sure.
Yeah, and I just knew the Daisies song because my girlfriend was playing it so much, but then I started to get a couple more of them from that album into my system, and his production work and what he's doing, he's definitely somebody to watch, somebody to look towards the future and like where music is going for sure.
And you're lucky I didn't end up seeing him live, or else this might have ended up further up on my list.
Oh brother,
because I feel like this in a live experience, like that's the true. I don't know if this is even meant to be heard when you're on a shitty Apple earbud. I think it's meant to be just in a fucking giant room, and just because I've seen his live stuff, and there's the one kind of long form music video for his album Absolute where he's running around the house doing all these songs in like one take, and it's just super impressive. And I feel like that is the kind of setting that this music really excels in.
I'm picturing you with a T-shirt that says, "What if we kissed at the Dijon concert?"
Absolutely. That should be made for sure. That absolutely should be some of his merch.
But you know what? Last year we had the big mustard.
Yeah.
Now this. I mean, what's next? Heinz.
Okay. I will say, last thing I want to say about this record is that I usually have some sort of kind of out of left field indie rock-ish song record on my list.
This was your Mike Laundry.
This is my Dominic Fike. This is what has made my list this year.
Respectable.
And I'm not wrong, by the way. I just want to reiterate that.
Well, you can't be wrong.
Because everyone else kind of agrees more so with me, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point that out there. All right. Give me your number 10. Come on.
My number 10 from the UK, Dave. The boy who played the harp.
My number 6, a little higher for me.
Okay.
I feel like because it is my 27th birthday in a few days, so that kind of just really, it kind of grabbed me in that sense. I'm glad I made your list though. I wasn't considering it first because I only listened to it once, and I was like, I don't know if I can really in good conscience put this on my list. But then I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times since, and I'm like, no, this is incredible. And because it hit me right away, I knew I had to at least consider it for this list. Because as soon as we heard it, we talked about it last episode, I'm like, this is
honestly,
awesome.
I might not have given it the time of day had we not interviewed Dukai and he mentioned it.
Me neither. I wouldn't. If you didn't say this is on your list to talk about this week for last episode, I wouldn't have listened to it. So I thank you, Alex, for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, don't get
in a
too
way,
high
I'm
on
responsible
your horse
for
here.
this album. Very ambitious in terms of lyricism. I don't think anybody quite gets at like moral complexity and dealing with feelings of hypocrisy and soul searching. I don't think I saw another album this year
Absolutely not.
that went to that level in terms of
I feel
he's very ambitious.
I feel like I know him almost too well now. Like there's some record, like with
Yeah.
a lot of hip hop records, I want to know about the person, especially if it's the first time listening to it. I want to know about the person, get some idea into what he kind of thinks about and what his life has been like up to this point. But I feel like this is almost too much of a look into his life. This is pull back the curtain a little bit, pal. Let's cover some of this up because it's just so raw. Like it's just so he's just spilling out of his head. It's just all this
and that's
stuff.
why it's a bit lower on me. Is just because it's quite a lot to listen to.
It's not. Yeah, it's my number 6. Just almost based on the fact that it was so impressive to me first listen and that it is so raw and it is so ambitious, like we were saying. But it's not always the music that I'm going to want to listen to. I'm not going to want to listen to the 7-minute 27th birthday song all the time. I'm not going to want to listen to Fairchild when it comes up on shuffle necessarily. But just front to back listening experience, it really struck me, and that's why it's a little higher for me.
I would liken it to kind of like if Kanye could just like keep a straight thought and not like trail off into some, when he did Life of Pablo and he said this is going to be a gospel album, and the first track was kind of gospel-y, but the rest was all about him having sex with models and
bleaching his asshole. Yeah, of course.
He was kind of like he's delivering on that desire to have like a gospel style album from a excellent rapper.
But also the gospel aspect and the religious aspect of that record it wasn't hammered over the head for me. It wasn't like it's not a absolutely crucial aspect of this record. It is a big part of it.
But when you dig into it, I mean, the fact that he's David from the Bible, played the harp.
For sure, yeah. There's
the
levels.
song Chapter 16 is very interesting in how he's rapping back and forth with his friend Kano, and they're talking on the song about how we should get together and make a song based on Chapter 16 of Samuel, which is the story of David.
Yeah.
And every time you come back to that track, I found more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
You see James Blake's kind of vocalizations in the background. There's just so much to dig into with that one.
Yeah.
And it's this conversational rapping style on top of it all that just seems so effortless. There's a lot of and the other person I would kind of liken this to is kind of like Kendrick Lamar if he didn't do crazy voices and scream and cry on songs, like if a
little bit more straightforward.
And I do feel a bit late to the Dave party. I'm sure he's been putting out even better shit before. But
it blew my mind to seeing that he's going on a crazy world tour, and his Toronto stop is going to be at the Ricoh Coliseum where we saw Tyler the Creator all those years ago. Which I'm like, I didn't realize this guy was that big at all. He's doing a stadium. We saw JID in a club. I saw Chance the Rapper in a club. Like this, these are people that I think, in my mind, would be switched in terms of where they're performing. But good for Dave, man. He has
one of the top UK
huge
rappers
following,
for sure.
Apparently. More about this Dave album.
Yeah, like I said, Kanye if he wasn't crazy, Kendrick if he didn't do funny voices. I mean, unless you count a British accent as a funny voice, which
perhaps
depending on. I was initially drawn to some of the poppier tracks off of it. No Weapons. And
Rain Dance with Thames.
Yeah, the Thames one. But the conceptual side, there was a lot to dig into as well. I feel like when you're a conscious rapper, like you do have to consciously make an effort to put a couple of the poppier tracks on there. Sure. In order to kind of smuggle in your more complex,
grander ideas. I will say there was a bar on this. I don't remember which song, but saying he doesn't want his stuff to be labeled as conscious rap almost because this is just what real life is to him. Like that. That's like which is an interesting take. I saw some criticism online of how like he's being a bit maybe hyperbolic, comparing himself to Dave from the Bible and this kind of shit, and just like holier than thou kind of thing, which is like, well, listen to the record. You don't believe him a little bit, like just based on everything he's saying. That this is incredible. Like I buy it. Shit,
it's Marvelous, which was a track on the album that.
Yes, it is.
The storytelling in there about like the guy who could have went pro playing footy, but the street life was too much of a attraction to him. A lot of
raps about youth in the UK kind of crime scene as well. A lot of talk about mental health and self-doubt and a lot of that stuff, fame and fortune, contradictions within himself and his belief system, and some talk about world issues and injustices that he sees in the world, which is great to hear on a record like this. He's really kind of just giving you everything.
Fairchild was a eye-opening track to give the female perspective on violence.
Absolutely.
And Nicole Black, I think, was her name.
Yeah.
The mention of the no phone parties. It's like
that's something interesting to
what's with these
dive into.
No phone parties? Like why? Seems like some Epstein
I understand
shit
the idea just
happen.
because like, I like the sentiment behind it of like, let's get off our phones and just communicate. But I would feel so uncomfortable without my phone. How am I going to just stand in the corner and not talk to anyone if I don't have my phone? Like
the idea was that the girls couldn't have their phones. But
that was the whole
could.
thing. I think the idea was that the guys like snuck in their phones or some shit. I don't know if it was intentional that the girls, it's a no phone party just for the girls, but maybe it is. I've never actually been to one. Maybe
I think that was the idea, but
let's have Dave on the show to confirm.
I deny any allegations that the Rapcast have been doing no phone parties.
I'm on my phone right now. This whole episode I'm going to be on my phone.
And if you're on your phone, give us a like.
Let's do that. Let's do a little bit of that for sure. Another impressive thing about this record is that Dave handles most of the production himself, which I didn't realize. Which is, he's just doing everything on this record. He's doing it all, man. It's really impressive.
Yeah, like 10 songs, but it's a bit of a longer project.
Right.
There's some lengthy tracks
for sure. Selfish with James Blake is also great. Getting super raw about his self-image.
As far as like the emotional peak of the album, I think.
That and the 1-2 punch of Selfish and My 27th Birthday that's like really where it gets into the weeds of it all. But yeah, really impressive stuff from Dave. Didn't expect this to make my list. Didn't think I was even going to listen to it, but here we are. So it's your number 10.
So your numbers 5 and 6 are knocked out.
5 and 6 done, and my number 9's about to be done. But I'm taking one of yours with me for sure here. My last Chicago guy on the list, Chance the Rapper, Starline, sitting at 9 for me. What is that? What are you doing? 4.
That was my number 4.
Okay, number 4. I figured this would be a bit higher for you on the list
because I'm such a cornball. I know.
Yeah, because you're 30, man. What do you? No, but gotta shout out Chance. I feel like why it's a little bit lower. It's number 9 record of the year for me, so it's not bad, obviously. But there are some weaker songs towards the end of the record that just haven't clicked with me, don't work for me. Even seeing them live didn't change my opinion of them.
Right, and you saw him live.
Which I saw him live, and I was right there, man. I was right freaking there. I was so close to just taking him for myself. But this is another record that the listening experience did enhance my overall enjoyment of the album, and I think in general the highs heavily outweigh those lows that I previously mentioned. No pun intended to the highs and the lows, which is a song on this record. One of my favorite songs on the record, but it came out years ago.
Yes.
You go into it a little bit because it's your number 4 here.
In my view, it's the best rap album in the conscious style of rappers. From this year, very well balanced. It catches your attention early and delivers interesting messages right off the bat.
He has a lot to talk about.
Gets into his stuff about his divorce.
Yeah, talks about the big day a little bit, and he dropped to the F- and all that kind of stuff, and which is important to get out in the open for sure.
And I think it's important to note how much the odds were maybe a bit stacked against him.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the task he had in terms of reestablishing his reputation was quite the momentous task, and I think that he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I was debating, honestly, putting him in honorable mentions at one point, but just because, just comparatively, such a outstanding comeback record, and he actually succeeded in doing that, it definitely raises it for me. It's like, wow, it's Chance the Rapper, man. I always have a soft spot for Chance. One of the first rappers I got into. I've missed his voice and his sound, even if his sound has matured a lot since. Yeah. And it's not the acid rap and it's not the coloring book. There's honestly not that much religious talk until maybe towards the end of the tape. And even then, he's kind of going at it in a different way, especially on the song Letters, where he's kind of coming at it in a more combative kind of way. Yeah. And getting after the mega churches and things like that.
Definitely like Back to the Go and Ride were some of my early favorites in terms of like the accessible hits. You needed to have those hits, but you also had to have more downbeat moments that still kept your attention and where he was saying interesting things, like on No More Old Men.
Great song.
And the track after that. He said quite a lot And I think it's similar to the JID project in that, like, when you start to break down his lyrics in his verses, you might find more meaning.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even the whole concept with the star line, I looked into that a little bit, and it goes back to Marcus Garvey and like black-owned businesses and trying to kind of make their way into like shipping and other industries, like focusing in Chicago as a hub.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting like history there. Also, like the cultural influences that he gathers from like going on his trips to Ghana, going to Jamaica, these other places, like on that space and time, kind of bringing that energy in. We haven't really heard a full thing from him in 5 or 6 years, so there was a lot for him to draw on in terms of experiences.
He had a lot to talk about, and that's like looking back on it, seeing the 6-year hiatus of him dropping. He was dropping singles, not a lot of the time, but pretty frequently. But just seeing him go on these trips to Ghana and things like that, and even with the divorce and things like that, like these, you can kind of pinpoint, okay, this stuff needed to happen for him to write a record that's this good. Whereas if he just dropped a record immediately, like a year after a big day, it probably wouldn't be that great, because what is he really going to talk about? I don't know if he needed to take 6 years on it, but hopefully the next one isn't that big of a...
it took a little bit,
but
had to get out of that contract at The Voice or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But it was interesting, though, because I wanted to see what the criticisms for this album might be. So I looked up the scathing Pitchfork review that exists of anything,
any album,
anything that you like out there. There's some Pitchfork.
Our whole lists are going to be 2
that's
out of 10.
about to ruin your fun.
Yeah.
But it was interesting seeing, because the review was clearly written by somebody who's just not a Chance the Rapper fan.
Yeah, which is always frustrating. I know.
Why is that?
It's very frustrating.
They always get the person, for Pitchfork, they always get the person that's like, who out of here doesn't like this artist? You're writing the review.
And the reviewer was kind of saying that it's safe. The beats he chooses are kind of predictable, and it's like,
I don't think it's safe. He's doing things on here he's never done before. Really, like it's
but like in terms of like this didn't sound way out of left field, but that's not what I wanted.
Yeah,
and that's exactly like he delivered exactly what I wanted, was sort of a return to form.
Yeah.
For him in terms of the like a proper sounding, well thought out project that takes you on a journey. But the reviewer was also saying that like he doesn't really get that emotional Chance the Rapper. Like he talks about his emotions, like he's like, I'm an emotional roller coaster, but you don't necessarily hear it in his performances. But that's kind of more his style. He writes more from the third person, talking about himself.
Yeah, and you got songs like Space and Time and Look Me in the Future, which is very emotional. Maybe not in his delivery necessarily, but how can you say those songs aren't emotional tracks, considering what we know it's about?
It's kind of a bullshit criticism, but to the extent to which that is true, it's like that's just kind of Chance's thing. He's more of a theater kid, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's more of a poet. It's more about how he put the words together than like... He's not crying on the track. Or
I don't want him to. That's
Yeah, and like, the record, that's not what I'm looking for from Chance. So
I don't remember which song it was, but like, I'm not trying to cry in the Rolls Royce. I'm not trying to cry at all. I don't want to hear Chance cry at all either. Let's have him be fucking happy, man. Because he deserves it. It's songs to me that didn't work. Just to get into it a little more, Gun in Your Purse still hasn't clicked for me. Just Young Thug and T. Kareem's features, which is the majority of the track, just aren't very good to me. For whatever reason, Speed of Light with BJ the Chicago Kid also just does not work for me. It kind of just goes in one ear out the other. Even hearing it live, I'm just like, it's a bit underwhelming. No one's really vibing to this one. It's kind of just,
it's a little bit background
filler. A bit filler. Even the song Pretty as well.
I'll agree with you on that one, not making much of an impact.
Yeah, and I like Burn Your Block, but it's not.
I actually didn't really like Just a Drop as much.
That one's also on the lower ranking of my.
All in all, like this is an hour and 7-minute project.
Yeah,
I'm glad he gave us heaps, and it's not all great per se, but it kept me entertained through. And there's stuff that like I'm gonna give it some grace, and I'm gonna give it some time.
For sure,
and,
yeah, it's his first record
you know?
in 6 years. Like, give him, yeah, exactly. And that's my chance bias definitely plays into that of just like, it's Chance, man. I gotta give it to him. Like, I can't. I like that's where the kind of like what I think is best and what some of my favorites are kind of clash a little bit. Because it's not, to me, it's not one of the best records of the year, but it's definitely one of my favorites. So I kind of landed at number 9 for me.
Couple more tracks to mention, I guess. Drapetomania, the line about 9mm say Thug Life.
That was great. He did that. He repeated that like 3 or 4 times in the concert just to make sure that was cemented home, which is cool
Brand
to
New
see.
Chain say Fuck Ice.
And it's good to get like a kind of like just a trap banger sound to it. Obviously, he's still talking a lot about a lot of different things in that song, but it's good to get that kind of sound on the record.
And Baby Chief Do It.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Could have been JID, man. Should have been JID. Even.
Yeah, I mean, I like his vulnerability on the Back to the Go, and
that's one of my favorite
Vic
ones.
Mensa,
and having him and Vic go back and forth, and
it's
great to hear.
And who hasn't had to move back in with their parents?
We can all raise our hand to this one.
Everybody, take a drink.
Yeah.
But like, and the fact that him and Vic Mensa both had their own experiences with, I'm pretty sure Vic
falling
had
off.
to. Didn't he have to leave because of the LA fires? Like he was living in LA and he had to actually move back in with his parents, with his girl for a bit, or something like that.
But
the point is,
he's had a lot of setbacks, and the punk album was terrible.
Yeah,
the XXX
it came from a real
was
place
in bad taste.
for both of these guys.
That's why it was so endearing to hear these guys that have been friends forever, came up together, been through similar experiences, and now they're both here at this point. And Vic's making great music as well.
And how they flipped the Back to Chicago thing. I didn't even really put that together until later listens.
Until I said it on the fucking podcast.
Well, you said it, and I kind of acted like I understood you, but I didn't actually understood until later on, because it's a cover of somebody covering
it's a cover
that song.
of a cover. Yeah, it's like a ukulele. It's like the Atlanta joke of like the white girl with a ukulele playing the song. Even though the Joe guy is a white boy as well, so what are you gonna do? But
hey, shout out Stranger Things.
No, I won't be doing that. Overrated.
But yeah, Tree, Highs and Lows.
Tree is great, really well written song, but also fun. It has a really interesting dichotomy there. That's talking about some pretty serious stuff, but also I can put it on in a function. If you could choose not to think about it that hard, and then it means one thing, but then if you get into it, it means a whole other thing.
And as far as like underrated lyricism, that last track, Speed of Love.
Great writing on that.
Some stuff you might want to break out the old lyric book there.
And that's like just the whole ending and how kind of the beat kind of falls out, and it's just him rapping almost a cappella, and it's just like, this is like a reset for Chance. This is like the moment where he's like pressing the reset button. Here it is. Here's the record. Boom. Great outro.
Yes.
Curious to see where he goes from here. I don't think it's going to be a 6-year wait, so probably sooner rather than later we're going to get a new Chance record, and let's see what happens. I'm all for it. All right, that's my number 9.
2025.
Go ahead. We moving quickly now.
So, okay, you did your number 9.
That was my number 9. So I got one off your list. It's always good to get someone.
Oh, brother. This one might be a bit of a discussion. My number 9, Earl Sweatshirt, Live, Laugh, Love.
As to be expected.
Curious to see where this landed for you.
Insert the Doctor Strange meme. Number 1, baby. Number 1. Another case of seeing the artist live.
Oh, brother.
And that's when I was saying that my 1 and 2 I was really debating, and then I saw him live, did photos for him. Great night, great performance. Gotta give it to him. Gotta give him the edge.
Let's get a quick concert review.
Sure. 4 openers, which is quite a lot. It was this guy Cletus Strap, which is a really funny name.
Simpsons character.
Yeah. He was actually really good. Enjoyed him. Neonte was up next. He was solid. Not necessarily for me, but still really good. Then it was Z-Loopers. Great performance, great energy, really fun stuff. And then it kind of took a turn with Liv E, who we've seen live before. She opened for the Some Rap Songs tour. And she just has going from the Z-Loopers with bringing this energy, and then Liv E kind of a more downbeat, almost R&B, still kind of a really interesting set. I enjoyed her stuff, but it just I feel like put her third, switch her and Z Loopers, and then you would get a little bit more energy for Earl.
Fucked up the momentum.
I think so a little bit. There were still pockets of the crowd that were going the whole time, but it was maybe only a handful of songs where everyone was kind of really into it. Interesting experience shooting it because there were 17 other people in the pit with me, which has never happened before. In the little photo pit where you're kind of up front, you have to navigate.
Competitive.
And there was 4 openers, so it was a lot of shooting, and it's also the first time that we were told, or I was told, that you shoot the first 3 songs from the pit, but then after you can go throughout the venue and take shots from wherever, which I'd never had to do before, so it was really interesting to get shots with the crowd kind of in the foreground, so it made for some interesting stuff, but it made for, I think I took 1,500 photos that night of everyone,
wow.
So that was a lot to go through, still going through the Earl photos, but really full circle, just fantastic moment to shoot one of my favorite artists ever and be that close up to him. And it wasn't that bad with the other people there because there was only maybe 4 or 5 people there during the openers. Not everyone cares to shoot the openers. But then for Earl, I didn't even think there were 17 people in the pit. I think it was maybe 10, 12, 13. But still a good amount of people to have to kind of maneuver your way around. But
did you sock anybody out?
No. Fortunately, a
couple nut grabs, but that's about
it. But great. I mean, Earl, we've seen him live. You know what to expect at an Earl show. You're not going to be bouncing around all fucking night. Played the hits. Played Azucar. Played fucking E. coli, the one with Alchemist.
My thoughts,
dreams, plots, and my schemes. Played Grief, which was great. I'm pretty sure I've heard that one before, but it's still like that's like a deeper cut.
That one gets the bitches moving.
And just hearing these new songs live, Exhaust, Infatuation, the intro track with the basketball names. Sorry?
Do you do Tumor?
Of course, yeah. Just hearing these moments live, just just elevated an album that I've already loved even more.
Nice.
Because I remember when we first talked about this record, you were a bit more bullish on it than me and Josh, where I think it kind of clicked for me and him just pretty quickly. Still some songs not as much, and then, upon re-listens, they definitely clicked. I figured it wouldn't be as high. I knew it would be on your list because you're a big Earl Sweatshirt fan, but I figured it would be a little bit lower. 9's a bit of a surprise to me, but not that surprising, honestly. I think, just to get general thoughts off, I think it is his best record since Some Rap Songs. We've talked about on that episode how it is kind of an antithesis to that record.
Right.
And I'm just so happy to hear Earl talk about just his growth and where he is now and his kind of positive mental attitude. And he's rapping over kind of more lush and bright production, which is the first time hearing that as well, which is a treat. Also, the fact that it's a short record and and it is, of course, it's Earl, so it's going to be dense lyrically, and it'll take you a few listens to kind of get everything. So it just rewards repeated listens, and it's just such an easy listen, gratifying listen. Really glad that he is in this space. It makes me want to join him there as well. And get to that space. And I don't know if it requires having multiple children, but I think mentally I can get there.
I was thinking more of
sure.
You being adopted by Earl Sweatshirt.
Well, that's kind of where I'm getting at here. So let's maybe not put that out in the air, but that's low key what's going on for sure. I want to let you talk about it for a second.
Earl Sweatshirt, the voice of our generation.
Absolutely.
Very compelling concept for this one. He's in a dialogue with his 16-year-old self.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of reach out to that kid inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
Say, you know what, just keep doing you. There's light on the other side of the tunnel kind of vibe.
Which is so much more interesting when we grow up with this guy and we have heard his discography from the start and we can get the whole picture. That's why it's so satisfying to me. If this was my first Earl Sweatshirt album, I don't think it would move the needle as much, but the fact that we have all this context and all this dark music that he was releasing, and the fact that this is like a 180 towards that is I mean, he's not saying he's perfect or anything like that, and that he's all better. It's not that simple, but it's just you can see his frame of mind just has shifted for sure.
And there's at least one track, Forge, I think that
one
taps
is grimier,
into that old school.
My February Never Ends is a very, to me, kind of like Some Rap Songs kind of bar.
Yeah,
I don't like shit kind of bar.
it gave us a lot of quotables, sort of a reevaluation of your life, recontextualizing things that seemed corny to you, like the phrase "live, laugh, love" at one point.
Yeah.
But now you're like, you know what? I get it. Live, laugh, love. Fuck yeah.
I get it now.
I would say the things that detract away from it for me, just in terms of my styles of music that I prefer, the shorter kind of fragmenty songs don't grab me quite as much. And there's a bit of a middle section before you get to Tourmaline that just got a little bit too hazy for me.
Sure.
I think the song from Crisco and Live and those ones,
well
really
done and Live don't. Those ones are lower on the list for me. I like the first half of Live a lot, but the second half doesn't quite do as much for me. I like Well Done; it's just too short. I will agree with you. I understand that when the songs are so short, it can be tough to really let them sit with you, and you can't really live with it as much. But because I spun the record like 15 times, like it's just it does eventually it'll get you.
I think the strongest moments are at the beginning, and then from Tourmaline
to the end, Heavy Metal Exhaust,
and the Heavy Metal, aka Ejecto Cedo, was a sleeper for me. I didn't quite get it at first, and then the emotions of it just kind of
very
clicked
therapeutic,
with me after a while.
And the like, I released it, like
it's cathartic.
Exactly.
Certain lines struck me right off the back, like from the first track, zooming out a thick malaise, infatuation, the whole kind of tonight we dining where concept. When he was talking about like being hungry and not eating so much in his depressed phase. That was cool to see. The Gamma Need the Love, I like the humor.
Yeah, love the production on that one as well. It was very different for Earl. I like the medieval kind of tight beat on Static as well, even though it might not be one of your favorite tracks necessarily, but I think there's great bars on there too.
I think the experimental stuff can be a bit much, but it's creating worlds that you come back to, and there's stuff you don't hear on, and it's it's replay value. And I think Exhaust is definitely going to go down in
that's one of his all-time tracks.
One of my all-time favorite tracks, and Tourmaline as well. Of course, that one kind of is a throwback to the bit more depressing wave, but it's more of like giving clarity after having been through the depression.
I will say Crisco as well is one that I also it didn't quite move me at first, but then seeing it live, he's spitting on that song. That's one of his maybe like faster flows he's done in quite a while.
So overall, it's a glowing review, but I have to admit that this style of music I don't come back to as much.
It's interesting because it's not that different stylistically though from his previous records. I mean, comparing this to Sick, which was your record of the year a few years ago, stylistically that is very different. Sick was a lot more.
It was a bit more booming sound to it, like
and
2010 had a trappier sound. I guess you might say.
And those songs go off live for sure. I just think overall that record was just a bit too all over the place sonically for me. Whereas this one, first of all, I love the sound, and it's that sound most of the way through. And that is to me, it's the most similar comparison is to Some Rap Songs, which is my favorite Earl record. It's because of the drumless kind of loop heavy vocal samples that are used in the production that we get in most Earl records, but are more so prominent in this one and in Some Rap Songs.
All praise is due to Allah and to Earl Sweatshirt.
My number one, baby.
I just have to admit that I didn't listen to it as much as I did other things this year, and so that's why it ended up being only number 9.
Fair.
So kill me if
I won't.
You want.
I won't. Yeah, okay, my number 1. Out the fucking... Thanks a lot for spoiling
That's your number 1.
Yeah, man. Record of the year.
Wow.
It was close. Number 2 is very close. Number 2 is very, very close.
I'm interested to see what your number 2 is.
Let's get there quickly. So that was
if it's Tyler, the Creator, I'm going to kill you. I can't decide who I like more. Earl or Tyler?
Odd Future all the way. I'm getting a tattoo. Odd Future tattoo.
I just wish I could be in Loiter Squad so bad.
That's an underrated show. Or is it now? Actually, I don't know. Might not be. Haven't gone back to it. So that was your number 9. I did my number 9 was Chance. My number 8. I might do some spoiling myself here with Daniel Caesar, Son of Spurgey. That's number 8 for me. Number 2. Okay, I knew it would be high for you.
Number dos for moi.
You're a Daniel Caesar sucker, dude. You're a sucker for him, dude. Okay, hold on. Gotta blur that one. Okay, more talking.
Daniel
Let's
Caesar Gobbler 01 has logged on.
I feel like the ranking is higher for you because he's from Toronto. I feel like that is that's a part
Real
of it.
six god tings.
I will say this record, vocally and production-wise, is up there with his best stuff, for sure. Maybe my favorite production that he's ever done, which is surprising because there's a lot of kind of gospel influence, and I've kind of mentioned when we reviewed the record that sometimes that can get lost on me a little bit. But the more I listen to it, just the more undeniable.
You had your come really to Jesus moment.
Sure, if you want to do that, yeah, might as well.
You drop to your knees.
You're dropping to your knees for Daniel Caesar, buddy. Okay, let's not get it twisted.
And praising God with him, yeah.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Well, where was your mind
The way
going?
you praise God is interesting, buddy. I will say as well, the gospel aspect adds more structure versus Never Enough, which is a great record, but I am leaning more towards favoriting this one because it just sounds better cohesively from front to back. But there are still some songs for me that haven't quite gotten there for me. Have a Baby With Me being one of them. The one that I can never remember the name of because it's long and has the big parentheses in it.
No More Loving on Women I Don't Love.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, I didn't do a track-by-track thing for this one because we just talked about it, but
yeah.
Go ahead. I wanted you to get yours off a little bit.
We already did a full review, so go and watch that if you are curious to learn more. Not many people did watch that episode, but
the Clipse did really well. So go follow us at SuperFinger.
But Inc. as a huge Daniel Caesar stan, I ate this up.
Oh yeah.
It honestly did hit kind of different after the Blue Jays lost the World Series. Legitimately, because I was like, this depressing vibe like matches the whole mood of not just me, but the whole city, the whole
which he calls home as well. Yeah, it's very fitting.
But you know what? It gives a good mix of emotions, the gospel themes. I like how he balances that with the philosophical talk on like a track like Moon, because what's religion without some philosophical ideas?
Sure.
You're not really dealing with religion unless you're getting into the mix of
absolutely
what's the meaning of life? Am I a good person or am I a bad person? Yeah. Whose fault is it that I'm such a bad person?
Dad? My dad? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the fatherhood concept kind of comes together.
That's also a big theme.
On repeated listens, I was like, I kind of got the storyline of it a bit more with how the beginning tracks is more like mentioning of babies, and that actually features his dad singing, and it's kind of like the beginning of the relationship in the life, and then by the end you're talking about death and coming to terms with the person you've been.
Right.
So I think like the concept came together
in between as well, just talking about asking all these questions, unanswered questions.
Yeah. It came together on repeated listens.
For sure.
But it's no surprise that I liked this album. So like, I'm not
because he's not reinventing the wheel with this one. He's doing more of the same, but just in a kind of a different lens from his past records.
Yeah, and it definitely feels more focused than Never Enough.
Mm-hmm.
Acoustic, kind of earthy vibe. Definitely got Mustafa's influence on his songwriting.
Because I love the soft sounding records, but I also equally love when they build and they expand and they become more grand and it kind of explodes.
Yeah, like Baby Blue was honestly a marquee track on there.
Absolutely. I will say the first half is stronger than the second. Another reason why it's a little bit lower for me.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the track list because I actually don't have it here. Spurgy, Son of Spermy. How are we feeling about that? I'm ruining this for Alex.
Can't like one male R&B artist without being called gay.
It is my R&B album of the year, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Touching God, also one that didn't quite work for me. But the rest of it, Emily's song, Sign of the Times.
Who knows? The line in Touching God about, I know you made me, but I hate myself. That one kept coming into my head, and I swear I don't hate myself.
Are you doing okay, Alex?
I love myself, almost too much.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But that's lyric just kept coming into my brain, and I definitely had some dark moments of the soul to this album. No, not really, but it gives you the space to think because
sure.
it's a bit there's a bit less going on. Like it's not so many bells and whistles production wise, I guess.
Because with Never Enough, you kind of have to. It kind of keeps forces your attention because it changes styles quite a bit throughout the album. Still, great album. I think they both ended up being like 7 or 8 on my end of the year list, respectively.
Yeah, and at this point, not seeing that much praise or accolades for it, I'm at peace with it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
because the music is just between me and the artist, really, at the end of the day. So,
and me and you.
Fuck
and
world,
you
for not liking Daniel Caesar as
and
much as
our
me.
viewers as well. It's all between all of us.
Yeah, but I have a pitch.
You have a deeper connection with
a,
Daniel Caesar than I.
I swear, we're firebombing the Pitchfork offices right after this.
I didn't read a single Pitchfork review this year. I couldn't be happier. I feel like that it's played into my mental attitude this year.
It makes you a happier person.
Yeah, why the fuck would I read that shit about stuff that I love? Like that's, if anything, I would read a shitty review of an album that I don't like just to reaffirm that it's shitty. But why would I force myself to listen to or read one that?
Because I want to know what I miss. I want to know what other people
That's fair.
are.
No, it's a good.
Getting.
That's a good exercise, especially for the end of the year list, to figure out if am I just delusional? Or do I just love this too much for no reason? Like
engaging too much with the end of year list industrial. What is it called? Damn it! But anyway, cut that whole part.
I get what you're saying. We're dropping it at the actual end of the year, guys. We're not dropping it in fucking
these end
December
of year lists
early.
are mostly bullshit anyway.
Yeah, except for the one we're doing right now. All right, so that was my number 8.
Okay, so my number 8, Boldy James and Nicholas Craven, Late to My Own Funeral. So Boldy James put out 9 albums this year.
Oh boy,
that's as of December 19th.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, you can't. He could beat the clock.
You never fucking know with this guy.
Did you listen to all 9? Is what I want to ask you.
Not all the way through, but I probably at least half of them.
Okay, good for you. Yeah,
I keep up with Boldy James.
Yep, you do, of course.
He's one of my favorites. Bit of an underground. He's kind of a Lil Wayne type rapper in that like he can just go rapping in his style pretty much infinitely.
Yeah. He's really honed his craft. He's also, with the Lil Wayne parallel, a rapper's rapper. Has a lot of respect around the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
But he has his own signature style.
And him and Nicholas Craven have been locked in for what seems like a long time.
He's done a couple, and in fact, right after this came out, he did another one with Nicholas Craven, which I didn't like as much. But if I were to describe this album, I would say it does feel kind of Grand Theft Auto-esque.
Yeah, I can hear that.
You know, his descriptions of his coke rap lifestyle are vivid and emotional, but they aren't so much at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
The production style does a lot for this album. Nicholas Craven is definitely in that Rock Marciano vein of the sample loops with no drum, but he puts a little bit more bells and whistles into it. More complex.
Yeah. I found myself gravitating more towards this one versus the Rock Marciano one that you were talking about in the group chat.
This one, it's a little bit more elevated. Did you hear the track Marrero?
Yeah, I listened to
That's
it.
one that needs to be heard to be
We were busy setting up the stuff and cleaning up here, so I didn't catch every single track title. Trapezoid stood out to me. I really liked that one.
I thought that was pretty funny. If I was a
shape, I'd be a trapezoid. Like, yes, man. That
just
listen
to this for a sec.
All right. The guitars are crazy. Let's get it. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, just like the type of musical samples you wouldn't just rap over this like easily. Like,
no, it's a tough one.
Like in order to match something that's that bombastic, you need to be a very skilled rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it's definitely more than like just normal coke rap, but just also the variety of different types of beats and the fact that track and then the trapezoid right after it sounds completely different.
Right.
It's more of a happy-go-lucky kind of vibe to that one. Spider webbing windshields was a great intro, had sort of a funerary kind of vibe, goes along with the theme. Yeah, I mean, world building, the storytelling on this track, Antonio Tuttle. There was a track called The Whole Shebang. Did you get that? That one was like a little too challenging at first for me.
Again, it's I can't distinguish the track titles in this.
I remember hearing that.
And the
when we were setting up, I heard it.
Yeah.
I liked that. Like it was like the whole shebang. It's just such a good phrase.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
It's just what is everything? Just the whole shebang.
Yeah. But that was one where the vocal sample playing over and over again, like I can see how this would be grating, especially to someone like the uninitiated, like someone who's not into this kind of underground.
Oh, yeah. It's always tough when there's like an extended vocal sample in the raps.
It feels like you're interrupting somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, whenever we've tried to rap on beats that have like almost like a chorus within it of the sample is like vocal sample is like, well, I don't want to interrupt them. Like they're going,
Yeah.
they're killing it.
It's a skill, and because I remember like when Otis, like Kanye West Otis, first dropped, and hearing that vocal sample over and over and over again in the background.
Yeah.
I think it broke a lot of people's brains or just turned them off. Whatever this is, I don't like this. But I feel like there's something kind of revolutionary about it. Like, in terms of, it's not paint by numbers. This will turn off certain people.
Sure.
But I feel like the modern rap consumer, especially if you're following an artist that's put out 9 albums this year, it's kind of just you put it on and it's in the background, but like not in a bad way. Like that's intentionally how it's presented, and how Boldy seems to be approaching his art is just quantity.
Yeah.
And not every single one of these albums is going to be a classic, but
for sure.
This is my favorite.
It is incredible that he can drop 9 records and still make quality in there.
Like, how do you not run out of things to talk about?
If Logic were to do that, they would all be bad. Like, like there would be good stuff spread out between all of them, but it takes a very skilled and special rapper to be able to stretch themselves that thin but still make good quality stuff.
But I think that it's moving forward into music, this underground world of the sample loop beats, it's going to continue to be a thing for the modern consumer that puts music more in the background, or it's just another form of entertainment while I'm playing video games or while I'm doing other things or whatever.
Yeah.
And you might see that as like music taking a step back or something, or artistry taking a step back or anything, but I think it's just a different presentation of the same thing that's dope about rap.
Yeah, saying background music is like that. There's a negative connotation to that word, but it's not necessarily. Like, I would say almost the Amine record can be background music, but to a fun summer pool party or whatever, right? Like, which is important with that. You need music like that sometimes. And you need music to, like the Boldy James ones, just to maybe, like, I don't know, if you're studying or if you're trying to, just chilling at night and you're doing laundry or some shit. Like, you need records for that. Like, you can't put a Dave record on when you're doing laundry or else you're just going to start crying. Like,
exactly. And
there's a soundtrack to other events of your life. You know what I mean? Like, that is what music is just in general, is like the type of music that you listen to can have a completely different context depending on where in your life or your location or whatever you're doing, where you listen to it. You know? Where or when you listen to it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the live concert conversation that we were having as well.
Yeah.
It matters.
Yeah.
Where and when.
But yeah, that's why like I'm not mentioning as many of like his specific lyrics or the things he said, because that's not so much the important part. It was more the production style that really spoke to me on this one.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Craven.
No, shout out Nicholas Craven.
Is sick.
Fellow Canadian.
A couple other tracks I wanted to mention was Nice Try, Wrong Guy. That's one of the more accessible ones out of there. It's a very hypnotic kind of guitar-driven beat. Genie in a Bottle. Surprisingly kind of like a love song.
Oh, yeah, I think I caught a bit of that when I was listening to it. I'm like, this is...
You don't always get that from him, but it was cool to see him tap into that.
For sure. If you do 9 records, you got to have a love song in there somewhere. You can't not.
Yeah. Tap in.
Shout out Boldy James. Tertiary friend of the show, because I think he saw our story one time when you added him. When you were talking about. So that's
I don't know
something.
if he reposted us.
No, but he looked at it, so that's something. He acknowledged us, so, Very good stuff. Okay.
Here lies a guy who once acknowledged the Rapcast. That's going to be on his token. Not that I would ever threaten to kill Boldy James.
Well, it sounded like you did. So, watch out, because Nicholas Craven could be in our area. He's Canadian. So
true.
So that was your number, 8?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did my number 8 was Daniel Caesar. My number 7, it will be a quick one, because it is not a hip-hop record. It is my favorite rock record of the year. It is Pup, Who Will Look After the Dogs. I want to get your thoughts on it, because you did listen to it, and you had some positive initial reaction to it just by saying it rocks.
I was just kidding. It sucks.
I'm a big fan of Pup. I've been a big fan of Pup for a long time. Toronto local band. They went to my old university, so got to shout that out. Seen them live twice, and that is not enough times to see them live. I want to see them more and more and more. And this, to me, is top 3 records of theirs. It is probably the most well-rounded album so far. It has a great blend of, they've really kind of nailed the rougher on the edges kind of aesthetic they have, but it is kind of like, it is more well-rounded than their previous records. It's still raw, but it still has certain songs like Hallways that are a bit kind of more pop punky.
Right. And you've seen these people a couple times?
Me and Josh saw, and our friend of the show Shraj saw them open for Alexis on Fire in St. Catharines a few summers ago. That was they have a song called DVP, and there's one lyric where everyone in the crowd knows it, even if you're not like a Pup fan. Like, everyone knows that song, and everyone was singing along to it. And I remember moshing a lot to their set, because that was the main reason that I was there. I remember, because it was summer, middle of the day, the pit was all just dirt. I remember we got home and we put tissues up our nose and we're sneezing, just brown dirt coming out of our nose, because all the dirt getting kicked up from the pits and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was, you guys are real punks,
when we were in the pit, it was hard to breathe.
It was it was one of the rougher pits I've been in, but I enjoyed every second of it. And then I saw them again when they played Because Beer Fest in Hamilton 2 summers ago, I want to say.
Nice.
That was I couldn't get as into it. It was a Sunday night, and it was so muddy that you couldn't mosh, and the people that were moshing were just getting head to toe fucking just dirt, right? And I'm like, I'm not really about that right now, so I'm not going to do that. We did mosh for Billy Talent, the show that you were at as well, the night before, and then me and my buddies got all muddy because we moshed to one song and we were just
festival.
Covered. That was great. Last things about the Pup record, real quickly. Their classic pessimistic, self-loathing, self-deprecating style is all over this record. Really love it.
Right.
Their sarcastic kind of attitude. Short and sweet, excellent replay value, relatable, but also broad kind of subject matter. Anyone can listen to this and get something out of it, I think.
Yeah, because I kind of detected in like the singer's like tone of voice, like he's being like a little bit ironic, but like he takes it seriously still enough like to make the song work. I like the one Needed to Hear It. Yeah, I was only telling you that because you needed to hear it. You know, like when you're too mean to your friend.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to be honest with this fucking guy. That shirt is not working.
Yeah.
The one at the end, The Best Revenge or whatever.
Yeah, Best Revenge is living well. I've been living like shit. It's been kind of hard to sleep. Yeah.
Hunger for Death I kind of like too. That one was like
a little softer in terms of like fuck everyone else in the world except for you, which is like very anti the title of the song. Hunger for Death sounds like it's going to be fucking melt your face raw shit, but
no, but it's kind of like that. It's built on the the classic pop punk aesthetic of like the emotions, but we're also just a bunch of
screw ups, and we're just
ratty white kids that are just like, we'll be fine.
We're figuring it out. Hallways was a big one for me this year. Listened to that one a lot. Concrete was great. No Hope, the intro. Paranoid was very like kind of just, that had a lot of great moments and had some moving parts to it. And that one, I heard that one, I'm like, I need to hear this one live. I need to mosh to this one. There's a lot of great energy to that one. Yeah, shout out Pup. I'm a big fan of theirs. Enough to make the hip hop best of list.
The Punk
in
Cast.
The Pupcast. It will happen at some point.
Whoa.
I guarantee it.
Dogcast
coming soon. My number 7.
My number 7, Tyler the Creator, Don't Tap the Glass.
Okay, not on my list. Didn't make it. I honestly didn't even consider it for my list. I am not the biggest fan of this record.
Really?
I like it. It's my top 25 probably, if I were to think about it. But it's his least quintessential, I think, record he's done, maybe ever.
I was not super interested in the storyline, and I felt like parts of it were bordering on self-parody in terms of like we've kind of heard this from you before.
I think he's done a lot of this stuff better, even though it is a little bit of a different sound in terms of the kind of danceability and some of that stuff.
But despite whatever my criticisms, I'm here for the type of record he was doing, the party, the spectacle of it all.
Yeah, it's cool. No, it's
and
cool.
It delivered legitimate hits. Sugar on My Tongue, Sucka Free, Ring Ring Ring. I think Don't You Worry Baby was probably one of the best songs he's done in a while.
I have that sentiment for I'll Take Care of You, the one with Yeba. That one's probably my favorite record on here. But that one, Tyler's barely even on that one, so it's kind of
It was cool to see him stepping out and collabing with some female singers
that aren't Caliuchis.
Other than just Caliuchis or Sid.
Yeah.
I think, that, like, not every single part of it, like, works for me, but I think he has impeccable taste in terms of putting together an album experience. Like, Mom and M and Stop Playing With Me and stuff, like, I don't go back to those songs as much, but when I'm listening to the album, I was like, I'm glad this
needs
exists.
To be here. Yeah, Mom and M is a great transition into Stop Playing With Me.
And it gives you as the listeners like some space to kind of like vibe out and the partiness of it all.
Right.
Like,
I feel like this is a record that if we were to hear it live, going back to that, it would definitely. That's one that you almost need to hear live. Just based on the energy alone that he'll bring.
But like in terms of like the strong songs, like Sucka Free was one of my favorites. That whole I'm That Guy thing.
Yep.
And the kind of 90s like throwback West Coast aesthetic to it.
Yeah,
like I think he did that kind of perfectly.
Kind of thing. It does suit him. He did it well. And he's having a lot of fun in this record, which is always important as well.
I would say that like Big Poe is like not the most essential moment. It's kind of just a like I'm back type statement, but like
solid intro.
Not that much to it.
I like Pharrell's contribution.
They have fun with it. Overall it's not the most essential Tyler the Creator, but I have to admit that I came back to especially the hit songs and listened to the fuck out of them, including Sugar on My Tongue. I mean, in terms of like a crossover, like it almost went mainstream. As far as a Tyler song that's gone more mainstream than any of his other songs going back. Not that being mainstream means anything, but it is cool to see an artist like this actually making an impact.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's not the first time. Tyler's probably one of the biggest rappers today. And people did talk about the hits pretty fairly on this record. Like Ring 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 also charted pretty well, and people were talking about that one quite a bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe the sound of it wasn't quite what I wanted to hear, or I think it's well suited for him. I think it's almost the opposite, where I didn't listen to it enough. Where you listen to the fuck out of it. I listen to Ring 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 a lot. I listen to I'll Take Care of You a lot. Sugar on My Tongue a lot, and it kind of stops there.
Tap in with Don't You Worry Baby. I think the song is better than you might realize.
To that one for sure. No, I'm not mad at the record. It's probably top 25. If I were to give it a few more spins, it might have maybe cracked my honorable mention. But I just don't think it's that strong overall.
You were listening to too many rappers from Chicago this year.
Man, Chicago got it, bro. They got it. What can I say? I think it's the first time that Tyler hasn't cracked my list and hasn't cracked my top like 3 doing even going back to Igor was my favorite album of 2019 if I look back on it. Flower Boy, same thing for 2017.
I had it ranked lower at first, but I just coming back to it, I just had to admit that maybe I was just in a good mood when this first dropped, and it reminds me of a good time in my life.
Mood. I was in a terrible.
Yeah, maybe you had kind of a rough summer. And my summer wasn't.
I remember listening
so
to that,
bad.
and I'm just like, this is not the environment for this right now.
Okay. Well, we'll redo these lists in 10 years.
I listened to the Clipse record in the same environment, and that's a great record. So I'm not mad at it. Yeah, Tyler, makes sense.
Okay, so since we're continuing with
pick, go ahead.
My very safe and tame picks.
Yeah.
My number 6. Curious if this one cracked yours. Rich Brian, Where Is My Head?
Number 3 for me.
Number 3.
Pretty high up there.
Wow. Okay.
Just it's the surprise of the year. No question.
I would agree.
I'm a fan, and I figured this record, the singles and stuff, like I figured it was going to be a good record, but I didn't think it was going to be this. Just overall, really, really solid. I feel like I'm almost gravitating more towards the song moments rather than him rapping. He's a great rapper. He's a very capable rapper. But songs like Butterfly and Is It and Body High, like it's just super. She. Oh man, super impressive.
That one I found, it was in my head the other day. I was saying she, and I was like, what is that from? Is that from some like fucking Lucky Day song from 10 years ago? Like, I think this album fully hits its mark. The more I listen to it, the more I realize he's very much influenced by not just Brockhampton and Tyler, but like A$AP Rocky even, and Childish Gambino.
Like Serpents, Gambino he references on this record as well.
So definitely drawing on a lot of influences that I cherish.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, those are all great quintessential artists.
And yeah, kind of a artist I've known about for a while, but getting to know him a bit better on this album was edifying.
Yeah, Time Zones is one of the best songs on here, and it's a great rapping ability as well.
And the down-to-earthness aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, you can sense it's very real, and it means a lot to him. And I just love, I feel like the reason why it's number 3 for me, and it's higher up, one, because I listen to the fuck out of it. It's just so earwormy to me, all of it, pretty much. And also just, I love when an artist really just shows a lot of growth and progression throughout his career, and you can kind of track it a little bit. I could tell his singing was getting better throughout the few EPs he's dropped in the last few years, versus like his first studio album, The Sailor. Had some great song moments on there as well, but like it's not the same as like a Tyler or a Mac in terms of the progression, because that's a little bit more you can concretely see, you can track it, right?
Yeah, this was like a surprise.
Rich Brian has not dropped in 6 years, a full-length album in 6 years, same exact day as Chance. And again, I think he needed to have that break. He needed to live life, and he needed to experience these things, and he needed to kind of just really hone his craft and spend time with it, and it really just worked immensely well for him on this record.
And being like in his mid-20s and looking back on like him becoming like famous as a teenager, and how he missed out on certain things with his family, and he has a certain amount of regret for that.
Yeah, the song Ma is all about that, and that's great too.
And the kind of just the backdrop of him like being a kid from Indonesia who just like learned how to rap.
Yeah, it really plays well, and
that was something unique and different for me, because I don't think I've ever really been into like an Asian rapper. I guess I've never really like fully gotten into like an album.
Higher Bros.
I guess them? I just
they were
like,
good.
And like I remember like when 88 Rising first came out, and like Joji and those, and like I did get into some of that stuff, but like it was just never really my thing. But this, and like I want to mention as well, like his very judicious, and that's not a good word.
Get a different word there.
Finding different word. Just a great use of features, basically.
Yes, it's kind of out of left field features like Red Veal and Charlotte Day Wilson.
That was one of my favorite tracks on it, though. Bumpy Road.
I know, that one didn't hit for me at first, but then upon re-listens, I'm like, this is one of the best songs of the year, honestly. And Tori Moy, Ski Master Slump God kind of came out of nowhere, and they had really good chemistry on that track. Probably my favorite, like, traditional banger on the record.
But if you're gonna go for a stylistic switch like this, he definitely did his homework in terms of like getting the skills to make these types of songs. Getting the types of features that will help back him up. And
it was you can see it. I've been enjoying his little videos he's just doing online of how I made this song. Because another, again, impressive thing about this record, and why it maybe lands a little bit higher, is that he also produced the majority of this record as well, and the production is one of my favorite things about this album. He obviously had some help here and there, but I liked that his online presence, he's going into how he made this and kind of showing his skills, that he's the one playing the bass, he's the one actually playing these instruments that are on this record.
Didn't know that.
Which is, he just adds to it for sure.
Oh Well is definitely like
that one's
like, that song genuinely makes me feel good. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh Well, Butterflies is I can't even, bro. It's a banger, but it's so pretty, and it's so I don't know. It's I can't get enough of that one. That one just gets stuck in my head every time I listen to it.
And yeah, I mean, we're mostly mentioning his sung parts, but the more rapidy tracks are very solid as well.
Yeah, Serpents is really good as well. Time Zones, great storytelling.
Even the one with Maxo Cream, I liked.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
There really isn't a bad song on this.
No, I would. The only thing I will say is that the intro and outro just aren't as
most essential part.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing when it's like, because you were saying which record, or I already forgot.
The Amine one.
The Amine one, how it starts how important it is that it starts and ends well. Whereas I think it could have just been a little bit better, the intro and outro. But still good tracks. Just not not the most shining moments to me on here.
Right on. Okay.
Tap in. I mean, friend of the show. Hey. We got the repost, and we'll get it again.
You know what? When an artist reposts our video, that makes me like them even better.
Yeah, you're going up to the top of the charts for that one. Yeah, and really looking forward to see how he grows from here, because I think the sky's the limit for this guy at this point. He's young still.
Yeah. He could even be on the Rapcast.
Shit. Earl Sweatshirt at 9 is crazy. Tyler over Earl is no. That's just wrong. That's just wrong to me. We'll get into it every year.
Stylistically, way different.
Oh, absolutely. You can't compare the two, except I just did. And one of them is superior. All right, so it's you did 2 right there, but that you got one of mine.
Okay.
I guess I can go with my number 4, because my 5 was JID. My number 4 is going to be on your fucking list for sure. Clipse, Let God Sort 'Em Out.
My number 2.
3. Okay.
3. Yeah.
We still don't have your 1. Okay, this is interesting. I mean, what's to say about this Clipse record that hasn't already... It's one of the most celebrated records of the year. It's single-handedly saved rap this year, you could argue.
They were the first rappers to perform at the Vatican.
Yeah, come on, bro.
I would say biggest statement of the year.
It's probably one of the best, like, just pure for hip-hop lovers record in the past maybe like 10 years. It's just that good and that important, and that
it's
sound.
fully, it's coke rap, but it's so much more than
exactly
coke rap. It transcends the genre.
And even the fact that they're still doing coke rap and coke metaphors and still making them unique is a feat upon itself, which I think is not the first time I've said that about a Pusha T record.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's just more and more and more, and they're still finding avenues to get there.
I think
is awesome.
Part of what made this album extra compelling was just the lore, the world of lore surrounding it, and the fact that the Chains and Whips song with the Kendrick verse may have caused the label to try to drop them.
Yeah.
Because they were so scared of what Kendrick was going to say.
Yeah.
There's that. There's just the reuniting of Clipse.
Yeah. With
How
Pharrell's
is that going to work
as well. Pharrell is as important of a part of this album as Clipse, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think it's his best production in years. Most consistent, just really, really solid. And talking about the outside influences to this record, like, I feel like this is an album that really, the outside influences do really help it, because they're still doing interviews for this album. There was one that came out today, I saw.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the Kendrick thing with the labels and stuff. Like, they're still promoting this album. They're doing all these interviews and press junkets and performances at the fucking Vatican and on Colors and things like that, like different shows. It's just nonstop. It's just nonstop. And I'm all here for it.
The whole, this is culturally inappropriate.
Love it.
That was like so iconic, I guess. Like
that was immediately like, oh, that's great.
I will say that like Pharrell almost ruins it with a couple of corny moments. There's a couple of things that don't quite work with me. I'll say All Things Considered wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, you're right. You know, there is...
And By the Grace of God had some corniness to it as well. That's as far as I'll go.
I'll throw in Inglourious Bastards in there as well. I think the beat is a bit out there.
Not
it
the
works,
most
but not
memorable.
the most essential, memorable. Like, that's the thing. It's not all
it's
Chains
like
and
a
Whips.
5%.
It's not all... Yeah, exactly. It's not all... Mike Tyson blow to the face. It's not all FICO. It's not all at this level, but the level that it's lower, it's very marginal, the difference between them, because they're not bad songs at all.
And I mean, just to continue going on about the lore, because there is so much. The So Be It thing with the beef with Travis Scott.
Yeah, and the beat had to be cleared or something. There was a thing with like the music video had a different had one beat, and then the album came out, and there was a different beat to So Be It. Everyone was pissed off, and they changed it,
right?
Or something. That was the whole thing.
Even like the fact that song was debuted at like the Louis Vuitton fashion show, and that being kind of the backdrop to them making the album with Pharrell.
Yeah.
The fact that Pusha had to comment about his relationship with Kanye. The Drake stuff,
yeah, I
still
forgot
there.
the Kanye aspect of it. That's how much stuff there is to this album.
Pusha T had a lot to get off of his chest on this, and I think he fully delivered.
That being said, let's talk about Malice for a second, because I feel like Malice bodies him on most of these tracks, honestly.
He's the secret weapon.
The comeback from this guy, like it's a big arc and theme in the record that they talk about, that Malice talks about a lot as well. But just he's as sinister. He matches him in every level, and he adds a different kind of sauce to it as well. And it's the perfect 1-2 3 combo with Pharrell in there as well.
I'll say his verse on Ace Trumpets. I'm willing to say verse of the year. Malice's verse.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
Just the way he says "fakasha."
Yeah.
I would say word of the year.
Okay, now we're getting into the words. I did not prepare a word of the year, buddy. I'm just telling you that right now. Fakasha.
Yeah, I mean, there's hours of people breaking down this album.
Yeah,
I don't want to go on too
long. This is not a unique take to say this album is great, but it is fantastic. I like a lot of the rich flexes on here as well, of course. There is a lot of talk about religion and God and faith, which is an important aspect of the record. And a great, and let's talk about the intro as well. We talked about it before, but the family aspect of the Birds Don't Sing with John Legend is like, that's like what a way to start your record, to completely just like have a song that they've never kind of made before. In my limited experience with the Clipse discography, because I haven't listened to much of their stuff really.
Well, it's about like their parent, their
and their passing and stuff, and it's just what a moving, interesting, and a way to start your record, and just to completely let everyone's guard down of, okay, this is not what I'm expecting already, so I'm just going to let myself just enjoy whatever the rest of this is, and it's all just great.
But it still has lighthearted kind of stuff like Mike Tyson blow to the face.
Yeah, it still has that classic shit that you want from these guys.
Some of the features here: Stove God Cooks on FICO, well placed touch.
I'm glad we got a kind of Griselda adjacent guy in there. I feel like, would this record be even better if there was a big posse cut with Griselda?
Ooh, that would have been cool.
That would have been awesome.
But
you gotta feel like Conway is like, they got fucking Stove God on here and I'm not on this shit. Like, how? What? Like, what's that gun? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure they're happy for him, but he did a chorus. It's not even a verse. So it's like, if you're gonna get one of those Griselda guys for a chorus, it's gonna be Stove God Cooks for sure.
Yeah. Also, some bigger name features like Tyler on POV.
That was great.
Apparently he did recorded his verse hundreds of times trying to get it right.
I'm sure he did. Yeah, I'm positive he did.
Nas showing up on this one. Like,
that was cool.
Some really big names. But
then you dig up The Dream and Ab Leva, who were these guys that were kind of around and popular back in the day, kind of when Clipse was at their original peak.
Right.
And that's also important for the context of the record as well, to be like, let's kind of tug on the nostalgia here and get some of the guys we used to work with in the past on here.
I will say, though, with Pharrell, though, like, I kind of soured on him as a person a little bit this year.
Well, sure. Didn't he perform in Israel or something?
He
was kind of
insisting on being neutral about that.
Yeah, he was trying to defend himself for some of that stuff.
The story about him and like screwing over Khalees back in the day.
I don't know if I heard about that. But
his breakup with Chad Hugo.
That was
some contentious
with Neptunes,
feelings.
That was kind of weird. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Just him being kind of a whore. Like he took the money to do the big like MLB, like the MLB finals, and I don't know. I just like I've been seeing too much of Pharrell lately.
Sure. Was he at the Radia Comedy Festival? Do you know? That would be that's the next. That would be damning. That's the next. No,
but
there.
I'm getting like 2022 Kanye vibes from him. Like, still a great producer, but on his views.
Yeah. Let's cut the mic off for him and just let him produce. Maybe. I liked his contributions generally on this album, but yeah, there's some moments where it's just like, you don't pipe down, Pharrell. You don't need to be on this one.
But a testament to see how high it's ranked and how much praise it's getting.
I think that's
regardless of that.
One of the ones we're pretty close on agreeing with. It's my number 4, your number 3. So,
all right.
Okay, so I have my number 2 left. That's
Charging
it.
ahead. I guess I'll do my number 5.
You cleared my list. Yeah, number 5. Go ahead.
Mac Miller, Balloonerism.
Yes, sir. My number 2. This was the one I was really debating. I'm like, do I give Mac number 1 again? I feel like that's just such a me thing to do.
Well, you gave him number 1 in 2020 for
Circles. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that album is as good as this one. Personally,
no, I wholeheartedly disagree. I think Circles is one of his best.
Right.
I mean, different sounds completely.
Just completely different.
A different artist almost. But I really, really enjoy Circles. I think Balloonerism is the reason why it's 2 and not 1 for me. Is that it is a bit rough around the edges. I feel like that's potentially intentional, and I feel like it does add to the raw and human nature of the record. But like songs like Transformations with Delusional Thomas, I don't know if we needed that one on here.
Right. Yeah,
Shangri-La
there's moments that
didn't
you could
do
say
as much for me.
Filler-ish.
Overall, like to have a posthumous record to be this good again, like they did it again.
And like we might never see an album like this again.
I don't think we've seen one since. It's so unique. It's
simultaneously heartbreaking and heartwarming.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's disheartening. Like
it's really
by the end of
it pulls you in a lot of different ways. Like because you are obviously the context of his passing does do something to this record for sure. And there's a lot of like production moments and things and topics and things that he discusses that are darker, and he seems very lost on this record, and he's really trying to find answers, and he's asking these existential questions, and especially the Tomorrow Never Knows song is like that's one of the darkest moments ever recorded, I think. Or Tomorrow Will Never Know, or whatever that one's called. But
I would say this is definitely the biggest effect on me listening to
absolutely
of the year,
absolutely. And also you can't lie, it helps that it dropped at the very start of the year, so we've had all year to digest it and fully live with it.
But to have this very ghostly experimental jazz effort from somebody in a posthumous way, it just creates a very unique thing that like we don't
it's
see
so
that
strange
every day.
because it still sounds so fresh, because nothing really sounds like this right now. And you like obviously there are sonic parallels to this and like Faces, but if you're not comparing it to another Mac record, like what else sounds like this out there? Nothing that I know of. And if there is, please point me to that. I want to listen to more of this shit, because it is it's very haunting. It sticks with you. It lingers. It doesn't go away.
on first listens, like the more accessible tracks like $5 Pony Rides, Funny Papers,
Stoned,
even Mannequins to a degree. Those ones are impressive right off the bat, and they definitely did some tinkering. Like I think Thundercat laid down some extra bass lines here and there to give it more of a structure. Very well done, because it doesn't seem like it was tinkered with too much.
No, because I listened to, for context, I listened to most of this record because it had leaked most of it. Obviously, I didn't know the order. It it wasn't mixed at all. So all of that, it does still sound fresh to me. But I am like, I do beat myself up about it a little bit, being like, oh man, I do wish I could have listened to this with just completely fresh ears and had no idea what I was going into when I first listened to this record. And you had mostly fresh ears. I think you had heard a few of the songs here and there just from being around me for all these years. But regardless, it didn't detract from the record to me at all, having heard a lot of it before.
I think it showcases his very unique poetry style on some of the tracks, like Do You Have a Destination? Friendly Hallucinations, Excelsior, Those Lonely Nights by the Piano, Dark Nights of the Soul. Like just how much time he was spending in the studio and just living a life that was surrounded by that and like his drug habits.
And the people around him that helped shape this record and all the other stuff.
And the kind of the female character that is sung about throughout the album.
Which is
could be a metaphor, could be a real person.
It's an interesting through point for the record, because like I also think that SZA is that character to an extent as well, and I think it has to do with like that is the embodiment of addiction maybe, but I still don't even know. Like, I'm still figuring it out, which is like really cool for a record I'm still kind of working on, fully understanding, even after all these listens all year, pretty much.
I mean, we did a full review of it, but just to run through a couple more. The snippet of like Josh Berg and him hanging out at the beginning of Rick's piano, very endearing because it's just kind of almost fly on the wall type footage of them just messing around in the studio.
Yeah.
But then it turns into like one of the most beautiful and heart-wrenching songs.
Yeah, it's a lot of this album is pretty hopeless sounding.
Yeah.
And then to have that moment towards the end is just so great to hear. And then the difference between that song and then the next song with Tomorrow We'll Never Know is like that's a completely different sound.
Never has a song really captured the feeling of passing away, like slipping into darkness.
Yeah.
The confusing, like in between purgatory zone, like in between the worlds. What the fuck? Like I've never heard anything quite like that.
Which is it's a thing that he had stated when he was still around, was that he ended all of his albums with death because he wasn't sure with his drug addiction if he would survive. And I think that's especially true with Faces, with Grand Finale, of course.
Right.
He referenced that in the festival as well, Good AM, which is a brighter record. He was more sober at the time. I know with So It Goes, Swimming was definitely a end of life record, metaphorically and in reality as well, unfortunately. But this one, you're right, is like that's that idea turned up to 11.
It reminds me of like a Sopranos, like a fever dream type like cutaway. Yeah. I guess the only reason why I would have to rank it a bit lower on my list is just that it's so much to deal with, and it it brings up a lot of like emotions.
Sure.
So,
yeah. No, it's not the easiest listen overall, but
Funny Papers, $5 like Pony Rides, like those ones
you listen to in a lot of different content. I mean, Funny Papers is also a kind of a haunting song as well, but also very catchy and very poignant. Miss Deborah Downer, I want to shout out as well. That one's a great track.
Deborah Downer, yeah. Even pills turn to powder.
Yeah, come on.
The world trying to crush him down.
Yeah. Come on, man. No one's fucking with Mac, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
We are huge Mac Miller fans.
Yeah.
I'm white. I'm a rapper.
I don't know if you're a rapper anymore. You got to get it back in the studio to reaffirm your rapperness.
It's that Jay-Z rule. I haven't put out a song since 2017.
Okay, yeah.
I might not necessarily.
You're following Jay-Z's. Whatever Jay-Z does, then you have to follow. Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, we're not going to stop talking about Mac Miller just because he died. And
of course.
This is probably going to be the last posthumous album from
him. I would
him,
think so, but you never know. We thought Circles was... I never thought this would ever be released, and I'm really glad that everyone can hear it.
They say Maclib may happen.
Yeah, they're saying Maclib for sure, but we'll see. And there could be something completely unknown that we don't know even exists.
So any more closing thoughts on that?
Just a great job by the estate to continue to preserve his legacy.
Yeah, very classy, like the way they dealt with it.
Yeah. There was the one misstep though this year where they, to an extent, or it's arguable, where they put a Mac verse from earlier on in his career onto the Big L project that dropped this year, the posthumous Big L project.
Okay.
Only because Mac was such a big fan of Big L and was one of his first inspirations, which is cool to hear, and it's a good song, but it's just a little bit like, well, they obviously never met. Big L died in like the 90s, so it's a little bit like
taking two dead rappers and putting
them together even though they never met.
Yeah.
People are saying Big L wouldn't have even fucked with Mac Miller, would have robbed him or some shit, like which I'm like, okay, well, I don't fucking know, but
all right, that's a bit crazy to say about
exactly.
But yeah.
Well, so that one's a little bit like, okay, that one's a little bit iffy, but they've done such a great job other than that, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. So, yeah. Okay,
and without further ado,
you're number one. Hold on, let me think about this.
What do you think it is?
Oh, man, I don't know. I thought it was going to be Clipse. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay.
I have no idea.
The Empire Strikes Back. Godfather 2, Cats and Dogs 2, The Revenge of Kitty Galore.
Oh boy.
Folks, a sequel is a hard thing to do, and sometimes a sequel is better than the original. And I am here to make the argument
Jack Boys
that
2.
Alfredo 2. No.
Alfredo. Of course,
Freddie Gibbs
Alfredo
and
2.
Alchemist.
Of course. Okay.
This was the best just in terms of per capita bangers. There isn't a bad song on this album, in my opinion. Besides just the music, the whole visual presentation of it all, I thought was very engaging. And kind of like how the original Alfredo is kind of like Freddie's take on 70s Italian crime drama.
Yeah.
This is kind of like that, but taken into a couple decades later, it's more like the 90s, and it's more Japanese, borrowing from the Yakuza and crime films from, Kurosawa, and kind of borrowing from some slightly different. You know how like a great sequel sometimes takes what's great about the original and then
improves upon.
We're going to go to Asia this time, or we're going to go to like the Indiana Jones, like the second one, they're in India, and it's like, you inject some new kind of flavor into it. Freddie is back, and he's still rapping at the top of his game.
No doubt.
The tenacity hasn't gone anywhere. I do like how stylistically he sounds a little bit more like battle-hardened, like this life of crime that he's been rapping about and is starting to weigh on him more. There's a little bit more like downbeat moments on this album.
Yeah.
And some of these Alchemist beats you might get a little bit sleepy to, but I think
talked about it before.
They keep your attention more so on this one than on the Larry June and 2 Chainz album from Alchemist from earlier this year.
Right.
I thought that one was honestly it was just too boring. I couldn't really say it was that great.
I enjoyed at least the production more in that one because it was a bit more varied, because you'd have some songs that are a bit darker, kind of leaning more towards 2 Chainz kind of sensibilities, and then some that are traditional like Larry June type production. But there were production wise like some on there that were too lackadaisical, too just breezy, and too just like kind of in one ear out the other.
Like I thought like the opening track on this one, 1995, was one of the best songs I've heard from him for a while, like in production wise, like
classic Alchemist production on this for sure.
The guitar part midway through was really cool to see how he incorporated that in. Really a lot of great pianos and guitars on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mar-a-Lago was the best in that kind of sleepy vibe, and I like the sentiment of that song. Excellent use of wind chimes.
Okay. We're really getting to the nitty-gritty here.
And his kind of sentiments of like, the federal agents are parked outside of my street again kind of thing, and relating that to like Mar-a-Lago and like the, like Trump being under investigation, and his kind of criminal enterprise. Like it with the whole like Japanese stuff, like they don't go too far with it.
Yeah, it's not overbearing. It's not.
But like a track like the last track on there, what was it called?
1,000 Mountains.
Yeah, that one kind of had the Asian flute kind of aesthetic to it, and theme wise, it was more like he's like
he's the monk on the mountain.
The monk on the mountain, like with his long beard, and Freddie Gibbs has like held his own since the last Alfredo. Yeah. Doing Soul Sold Separately. That one was an honorable mention a few years ago, and You Only Die Once I enjoyed as well, but it was a bit more mixtapey. I'm glad that like he can hold his own and then come back to this style with some new features. Like people loved the features on the first Alfredo, and I'll agree that some of them are classics, but the Conway one doesn't hold up so well.
Right. The Benny one is great.
The Benny one is great, but it's been kind of tainted by the fact that they don't really like each other anymore.
I'd say the Tyler one is probably my favorite across the two records, but
that's a top tier track.
But Enchilada with Anderson .Paak is right there with it. That's one of the best songs of the year.
This one, it's a longer album. There's more to chew on, but there's actually less features.
Yeah.
So that's impressive to pull that off. Getting Larry June and JID.
Yeah, JID features great as well.
Completely different vibe of rappers.
Yeah.
But both of them provide great songs.
And Freddie manages to kind of match a little bit from who he is featuring on the track. Like with
Yes.
JID, he's spitting at the same level as JID. Whereas the one with Larry June is that he's kind of taking a little bit more lackadaisical, kind of, he has more of a kind of a chorus, kind of more chill with it, kind of matches. I think it's still a bit of a stark contrast in terms of just flow wise between the two, but still a great song, one of my favorites on here.
And there's a lot of that spacey vibe from Alchemist production. I thought Gas Station Sushi was a standout track.
Yeah.
Shangri-La I really liked. Ensalada, I've already been praising that song up and down, but just to mention it once more, I like his kind of intense flow on Lemon Pepper Steppers.
Yep.
That's kind of the old school gangster Gibbs you're getting. Lavish Habits was a sleeper for me. I really like the guitar sample that they used for the beat. And yeah, I don't know, Freddie rides the line with being like just enough of a sleazeball and a bad guy, like a villain, but still being likable. He doesn't.
I agree with that.
He doesn't overstay his welcome, and I just don't think you can really say anything bad about this album. Like critically speaking, I can't really.
Yeah.
I take a look at it with my jeweler's.
Well, did you read the Pitchfork review or?
I didn't see the. I'm sure Pitchfork fucking tore this one up.
Yeah.
Gibbs is uninspired in his Alchemist sleeps through this cash grab of a phoned in. It's
That's
like,
pretty
no.
good. You should try to. Get
it ain't phoned in. It ain't a cash grab.
No, it's none of that.
It's extremely high level luxury rap that I don't think should be slept on by anybody.
For sure.
Definitely not a rap head. Okay.
Yeah. You said you don't think anyone could say anything bad about it. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I'm just going to explain why. Hold on there. Why it didn't make my list. It was close. I considered it. It was close. Top 20 for sure. I just found that while I was listening to it, I was making notes on the individual songs as well. It started off being like, Freddie's spitting on this one. He's really going in a certain way. And then the more the record went on, I was just giving thumbs up emoji for all of the tracks that I was listening to, because it's good. It's really, really good. But it just doesn't. The crime stuff just is not my preference of rap to listen to all the time. That's not surprising, as you're a way bigger Griselda guy than I am. And it's two different things for sure, but no, it's undeniable. I don't know why I'm not a bigger Freddie Gibbs fan, because he can spit his ass off. He's one of the best, like, technically gifted rappers that we have right now. I just think subject matter wise, it just isn't for me, or isn't always what I want to listen to, or isn't varied enough for me to keep my attention the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, fair
and
criticism.
if you combine that with some of Alchemist's a little bit sleepier production, it just doesn't. Not every song grabs me. All those songs that you mentioned, I love those ones as well, and I do love a lot of this record. But just as an album listening experience, it just doesn't grab me as much as I want it to. I don't know why I haven't swallowed the Freddie Gibbs pill yet.
Yeah,
maybe I have to go back and listen to more, but. I have a lot of respect for the guy, and obviously I'm a big Alchemist fan, and they work really. I think they match each other really well here. It being a record of the year is not surprising, and it's not a hot take. I think that's completely valid. That's a great record. It just didn't do as much for me personally.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But like for me, like in terms of like the old school album listening experience of like front to back, like this is one that friends, family, loved ones, if you see the vinyl, it would make for a great gift. But or even the CD, whatever, like just the type of album you can just live with.
Sure.
And just
absolutely,
you get into every single little world that Alchemist helped and Gibbs helped create with each track. So I'm fed, I'm fat and happy. We got lots of great rap this year.
We did, absolutely.
Fuck the headlines.
Another great year for rap, always.
The headlines are trying to kill us, rap heads, but we're never going to let them.
No. Rapcast ain't going fucking nowhere. Are we going to get another 5 years out of it? I don't know. But
am I going to go K-pop next year?
Yes, I can see that for sure.
Perhaps.
The Jenny record was good.
Is this a K-pop thing?
Maybe. I don't. Sure, let's make it. Okay, good list. Some
Solid.
notes between. I think both of us have a bit of a. I mean, my thing with Earl is a bit lower, but your number one album isn't even on my list, so that's something to that you're gonna think about tonight for sure. But good list.
Yeah.
I like your list. I like my list. I think it's solid. They're both solid, and good work. Because it is work. It's work. Putting all this together, it's fucking work.
It was.
Takes time.
And now that we've gotten our shit off, I'm happy.
There is a weight that's lifted to an
A weight
extent.
has been lifted.
We are going to get into now our top 20 songs of the year.
And then we're doing our gift exchange.
Which we didn't mention until right now, 3 hours into the show. But we're doing a little gift exchange, even though it is past Christmas now as well, just from the three of us here in the Rapcast studios.
Because, you know what, the Rapcast cares. But we are going to take a short break now.
Yes, because it's
I
fucking
can
hot in
smoke
here.
A joint.
Jesus. Jesus.
Dirty floor, and go back home to tell me that I fall from the egg red tall and camera shots. So